much talked about cover story during Nationwide at 5. Here Cliff Hughes get to the heart of the story of the day. Cover story aired 5:30 weekdays during Nationwide at 5. Nationwide at 5. Talk radio at its best. Cover story.
Cover Story is brought to you by JTA Credit Union, serving our members, impacting lives positively.
Multilink, roll with control. Use Multilink, save fast and accepted in more locations.
It's the weekend and the youth are taking over the airwaves. Yes, we are the new voices and faces of the Talk Up You radio show. The voice of the Jamaican youth right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
After a busy week of work and school, come unwind with Jamaica's #1 youth radio show.
We're bringing you entertainment, fun facts, and staying true to youth development and advocacy.
Catch the action each and every Saturday as we roll out buzzy segments. What say you?
Youth for chat.
Life skills.
Global Connect. And Bust the Youth.
That's the Talk Up Youth radio show. Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM. Talk Up Youth, Miss Effie.
Talk Up Youth. Don't miss it.
Ready to tackle that building project? Start right. Start here at H&L Rapid True Value for building supplies. The time by H&L Rapid True Value is
Nationwide time, 5 o'clock.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, incisive, tough. This is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Shalois Michael.
In Nationwide News at this hour, person of interest in the murders of a teacher and her teen daughter found hanging from a tree.
Suspect in murders of 2 policemen surrenders to police.
Political leaders are condemning the brutal murders.
Indicom launches a probe after inmate jumps to his death in Rio Cobre.
Councillors in Manchester say they need money to assist, or rather more money to assist, with hurricane relief.
The ministry has to do better. The government has to do better. Councillors has to be involved. There's 230 of us.
In news from the rest of the world, U.S. Secretary of State dismisses criticism of U.S. Caribbean strikes at G7 meeting.
A recent poll has found that a majority of Americans disagree with the United States on those strikes.
In headline sports, schoolboys football to resume in 10 days, but a leading coach says the season should be called off.
And later in our broadcast, in the cover story, Jamaica is known for having significant number of churches. During the passage of Hurricane Melissa, scores of them were damaged or destroyed. Catholic priest Father Kingsley Asphalt and first presiding bishop of the Assemblies of God, Reverend David Ewan, will join us to discuss the hurricane's impact on holy buildings.
In public opinion at 6:26, we ask, do you think the Reggae Boys will beat Curaçao next Tuesday? Give us your comments by logging on to our Facebook page, Nationwide News Network, and by tweeting us at Nationwide Radio and message us on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693. You can also leave your comments on Instagram at Nationwide 90 FM.
In the nation's business at 6:40, how can we protect ourselves from waterborne and vector-borne diseases following the passage of a hurricane? We'll hear from the Health Ministry's Director of Environmental Health, Michael Williams.
And at 8, it's the A-Team with Dennis Brooks.
All these and more as we take you home on air on your mobile, Nationwide 90 FM, RevoNews.ai, and on the Revo News app. It's available on the Google Play and the App Store. This Friday afternoon, it's Friday, November 14, 2025.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
And now to the details. Nationwide News understands that the person of interest in the double murder of a teacher and her daughter in Mount View, Spanish Town, St. Catherine, has been found dead. Brandon Main is suspected to have committed suicide in Tweedside, Clarendon, sometime after 1 this afternoon. It's understood Main, who was a taxi operator, was found hanging from a tree. The police named Main as a person of interest following Thursday's discovery of the bodies of 29-year-old Tara Pinnock and her 14-year-old daughter Talia Wright. Pinnock was a teacher at Bridgeport Primary in St. Catherine. She had not been seen at school for 2 days, prompting the principal to contact the police. The police forced their way into her house on Thursday, where they found the bodies in pools of blood. The victims are believed to have been stabbed to death. Their throats were also slashed.
Nationwide News understands that one of the persons of interest in the double murder of 2 policemen on Thursday has surrendered to the police. The suspect is Macarius Monroe, otherwise called Mackie, of a Kingston address. It's understood that Monroe surrendered to the Hunts Bay Police this afternoon in the care of a justice of the peace. The other persons of interest in the double murder are Junior Brown and Cardell Insang, otherwise known as Squidley. Constable Charles Stewart, otherwise called Stewie, and Constable Jamari Gordon, known to his friends as Mark, were shot and killed by 3 gunmen at about 7:30 p.m. They were at a business establishment at 83 Waltham Park Road to resolve a matter concerning a stolen motor vehicle. The constables were off duty at the time. Constable Stewart was assigned to the Counterterrorism and Organized Crime Investigation Branch. Constable Gordon was attached to the Spanish Town Police.
And the nation's political leaders have condemned the brazen murders of the 2 policemen. In a statement on Friday, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness extended heartfelt condolences to the families, colleagues, and loved ones of both officers. Dr. Holness says their deaths represent a significant loss to the constabulary force and to the nation. The Prime Minister praised the dedication of the men and women of the JCF, highlighting their daily commitment to protecting Jamaicans despite the risks associated with the job. Dr. Holness says policing remains a profession rooted in duty, service, and love for country. The Prime Minister says he has been fully briefed by the Police High Command and assured that the investigation is active and aggressive. He pledged that the government will continue to provide full support to the JCF as they work to bring all the perpetrators to justice. As the country mourns, the Prime Minister called on Jamaicans to stand in solidarity with the families of the fallen officers and the wider constabulary force. He also urged the public to continue supporting the security forces who work tirelessly to keep the country safe, often at great personal cost.
Meanwhile, the opposition People's National Party PNP has also condemned the brutal murders. The party's spokesman on security, Fitz Jackson, says the latest attack deepens the national sadness as the country continues to grapple with the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa.
Jamaicans are being forced to confront not only the pain of natural disaster, but also the trauma of these violent crimes against our police officers. This vicious attack is not only an assault on individuals, but an assault on law and order and on all Jamaicans who rely on the security forces to protect us.
Fitz Jackson, opposition spokesman on security. The PNP extended condolences to the bereaved families, colleagues, and friends of the constables. It further extended condolences to the family of Constable Christopher Kondopa, who tragically lost his life in a car crash on Monday. The PNP says the memories of the men will be honored through justice, strengthened security measures, and a renewed commitment to peace and safety.
The parish of St. James has recorded a 60% reduction in murders since the start of the year. That's according to Commanding Officer for the St. James Police Division, Superintendent Aaron Samuels. Superintendent Samuels touted the continued reduction in murders at Thursday's sitting of the St. James Municipal Corporation. He says up to the time of his update, the parish had recorded 46 murders. That's 70 fewer than the 116 recorded over the corresponding period last year. The superintendent says this has been achieved despite efforts being diverted to storm-related duties. He highlighted that the police are maintaining a strong presence along roadways in Montego Bay and surrounding areas to ensure that it's safe for persons to assist and distribute aid. Additionally, Superintendent Samuels says reports of looting in the area in the immediate aftermath of the hurricane have since been quelled.
The Independent Commission of Investigations, INDICOM, has launched an investigation into the death of a detainee at Flatbridge, St. Catherine on Wednesday. The man, 73-year-old Melton Smith, jumped from a police vehicle while being transported to the Spanish Town Police Station. Upon reaching Flatbridge, Smith seemingly lunged from the vehicle. He hit the concrete of the bridge, then flipped into the river. Smith was being transported to answer to allegations he sexually assaulted a child. Commissioner of Indicom Hugh Faulkner says the police personnel involved will be interviewed today.
The Indicom team processed the scene, canvassed for witnesses, and CCTV footage. Mr. Smith was transported to the Linstead Hospital, where a medical officer pronounced him dead. The 4 concerned officers were interviewed by Indicom and their accounts recorded. Each JCF officer was served with a Section 21 notice pursuant to the Indicom Act and scheduled for interview today, Friday, November 14, 2025. Other investigative steps were taken with regard to the motor vehicle involved and the tire. The family liaison officer of the commission has been engaged in the matter.
Hugh Faulkner, Commissioner of Indicom.
A Jamaican man has been indicted for stealing more than $800,000 from an elderly U.S. victim. He's been identified as 34-year-old Rashard Andrew Carty. Carty was extradited to Western Washington on October 23 to face trial on 4 counts of wire fraud and 4 counts of mail fraud. On Wednesday, Magistrate Judge David Crystal ordered Carty detained with his trial set for December 22. According to records filed in the case, Carty first contacted the 73-year-old victim in 2020. Between August 2020 and February 2024, he convinced the victim to send him $800,000 as taxes, fees, and other costs to claim a $22 million prize from Publishers Clearing House. Carty allegedly convinced the victim that the FBI was recording the call and told her she was not to tell anyone about the win. Carty had the victim remove small amounts of cash from her accounts and send them to a U.S. location via FedEx. He told the victim the money was lost or stolen and then demanded more. He also allegedly convinced the victim to sell her home to cover additional costs. When the victim tried to cut off all contact, he attempted to send tow trucks to try to get back in touch with her. Carty was indicted in November last year. Wire fraud and mail fraud are punishable by up to 20 years in prison. The case is being investigated by the FBI.
The JCF says swift action by members of the Counterterrorism and Organized Crime Investigation Branch, CTOC, and the Maypen Police led to the rescue of a 17-year-old girl who was kidnapped and assaulted in Effortville, Clarendon, earlier this month. A taxi operator has been arrested and charged in relation to the incident. He's a 48-year-old Marcus Blythe of Effortville. Reports are that the teen went to Blythe's home to collect several items, but she was held against her will and sexually assaulted. Lawmen say they were alerted to the incident on Sunday, November 2, and subsequently carried out an operation at Blythe's home. The teen was rescued and Blythe taken into custody. He was charged with kidnapping, unlawful detention, and 5 counts of indecent assault after a question and answer session in the presence of his attorney. Blythe is set to appear in court on a date to be finalized.
Now, councillors in the Manchester Municipal Corporation are taking issue with the $250,000 allocation disbursed to them to assist with hurricane relief. They say the sum is grossly inadequate. Mayor of Mandeville, Donovan Mitchell, questioned why members of Parliament have been allocated more. He raised the matter at Thursday's sitting of the Manchester Municipal Corporation.
The ministry has to do better. The government has to do better. Councillors has to be involved. There's 230 of us. Nobody knows the country better than we do. And it is pathetic. When it comes to election, we go to every place. Labour and PMP because we all vote. So why is it now that you are saying because it is time to give some things? It's only certain people can get and whatever it is. And the councillors don't get. $250,000. Can't buy 10 sheets of zinc for some people. It's only 10 people you can get or whatever. And by the time the money come back here, those people done dead done long time.
Donovan Mitchell, the Mayor of Mandeville. He was supported by Minority Leader in the Corporation Councillor for the Craighead Division, Omar Miller. He agreed that the allocation is insufficient.
No, man, it's when it comes to my party, I defend my party to the team. Yeah. But Councillor Miller, along with the rest of councillors here, right, has not received 1 great cent. And when I go into my division, persons are not looking for me to send them to somebody else. They are looking for me to help them because they voted for me. Right? And I think it is very disrespectful at this particular time. When we're going through this time and when you go through the houses and see the conditions of people and you cannot help them. I feel hurt.
Omar Mitchell, councillor of the Craighead Division.
Meanwhile, Mayor Mitchell is cautioning affected residents against repairing their homes without adhering to appropriate building standards.
The people who have lost buildings, churches and all of that, do not start to do any work on some of them. I know you want to work on them, but there has to be a rethinking of housing and buildings and the building codes as to how houses are built within the tropical area. You can't just put in back house a house top because if the same breeze come next year, the house up is gone again. So I am appealing also to these persons. Yes, I know you want to be sheltered and all of that, but let us look at how is it that we are building, where we can slab our deck. I think it's a time for us to go that way.
Donovan Mitchell, Mayor of Mandeville.
You're listening to the news on Nationwide at 5. We'll have more after these.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
15 minutes after 5.
Termites, rodents, or birds infesting your home or office? Call Rentokil Initial, the pest expert, at 876-926-4236 for a free pest assessment island-wide. The time by Rentokil Initial is...
Need to make a change to your title or need a title? Geoland Title Limited is the place to be. They do lost title application, add and remove names from titles, wills, estates, first-time registration, land surveys included, affordable rates and flexible payment options, National Land Agency adjudication and land titling waivers available. They have 8 locations island-wide. Call 876-754-6436 or visit their website at geolandonline.com. Geoland Title Limited. Secure your land, secure your title.
Continuing the news. The Holness administration is set to review building standards used to construct schools following extensive damage to several campuses caused by Hurricane Melissa. The country's multilateral partners are being asked to assist with the effort after several schools which were repaired after Hurricane Beryl last year were again damaged by Hurricane Melissa. Education Minister Dr. Dana Morris Dixon says this calls into question the quality of the work that was done.
What made me quite unhappy was the fact that last year after Hurricane Beryl, some of those very schools were repaired. And 1 year later, we're back at repairing them. So that raises questions for me about the quality of work that would have been done. And it also raises other questions about standards and the standards of our schools. And so I've asked some of our multilateral partners to work with us to look at the building standards around schools, because it's not acceptable that you have a hurricane 1 year, you fix it, and then the next year you're back at it again.
364 schools were impacted by Hurricane Beryl. That figure nearly doubled following Hurricane Melissa. The Category 5 system damaged more than 600 schools in its wake. Minister Morris Dixon says climate-resilient schools are the way forward.
There are many schools that have done a tremendous job. You know, they're trying to help themselves, and they'll add a classroom here and a classroom there, or they'll do some work on a new hall or something like that. And in many instances, as I've gone around, a lot of those have been destroyed. And so as we move forward, we're going to have to ensure that even where schools are doing their own fundraising and building structures, that they are built within particular standards, because we have to get climate resilient schools in our country.
Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, the Education Minister.
State Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Senator Abka Fitz-Henley, is seeking to assure the residents of Trelawney that they've not been forgotten in the ongoing hurricane relief effort. The senator was speaking with the media after joining State Ministers Rhoda Moy Crawford and Marissa Dalrymple Philibert in delivering care packages and building supplies to families in the parish.
Look, we're aware that much of the media attention has been focused on St. James, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth. and help has been sent to those parishes. Indeed, much more is on the way. But to the people of Trelawney, we say that you have not been forgotten. The government of Jamaica is aware of your plight and the extensive scale of the damage, and assistance is on the way. The Prime Minister has directed his state ministers to assist the people where necessary, and that has occasioned the visit of myself and Minister Crawford to Trelawney today.
Senator Abka Fitz-Henley. Minister Crawford is encouraging all stakeholders to intensify efforts to help the people of Trelawney.
The damage seen today is far more than I had imagined. However, the people remain in high spirit. They were very happy to see us, very thankful for the relief items. And I want to use this opportunity to make a special appeal to those who can join hands and heart and help us to give some support to the residents.
Rhoda Moy Crawford.
World in a Minute is brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose assembly and supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology and integrity.
The World in a Minute.
U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has declared that Europeans don't get to dictate how Washington defends its national security. He made the comment as he pushed back against criticism from some U.S. allies over the legality of its military strikes on boats in the Caribbean. Rubio attended a group of 7 foreign ministers meeting in Canada's Niagara region earlier this week. The talks focused on the wars in Ukraine and Gaza, but some countries present have raised concerns over U.S. strikes against the boats, and the Trump administration says are carrying drugs.
A recent poll has found that a majority of Americans do not agree with the U.S. military's repeated strikes in the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific Ocean. According to a poll done by Reuters, 51% of respondents oppose the Trump administration's act of killing suspected drug traffickers without a judge or court being involved. The 6-day poll, which closed on Wednesday, shows that only 29% of Americans support the strikes. The remaining 20% were unsure about where they stood. The poll findings come as Washington continues a military buildup around Latin America, focusing especially on Venezuela. The Trump administration has ordered at least 20 military strikes in recent months against suspected drug vessels in the Caribbean and off the Pacific coast of Latin America. At least 79 people have been killed.
World in a Minute was brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose assembly and supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology and integrity.
Recapping the top stories making nationwide news at this hour. Person of interest in the murders of a teacher and her teen daughter found hanging from a tree.
Suspect in murders of 2 policemen surrenders to police.
Political leaders condemn last night murders of the 2 policemen.
Indicom launches a probe after inmate jumps to death in Rio Cobre.
I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Shaloy Smichael.
Listeners, you can find the news on our website at rivanews.ai and on the Riva News app, available on the Google Play and the App Store. News next, the headlines at 6.
SCL Jamaica Limited is having a big blowout sale. Up to 70% off on Milwaukee tools. From power drills to saws, their top-notch Milwaukee tools will handle any project with ease. Hurry to SCL Jamaica Limited at Block L, Sagicor Industrial Center, 7 Norman Road, or call 876-938-1397 for more details. Sale runs November 10 to 28. Terms and conditions apply. Milwaukee, nothing but heavy duty.
They've lost homes.
Everything is gone. Have no house, have nothing.
They've lost power.
No water, no food, no light, no bed. Jamaican people need desperate help.
Some haven't heard a familiar voice in days.
The last thing I said to my sister, please be safe. And that was the last time.
For others, hope is starting to ebb. But together, we are rebuilding Jamaica one parish at a time.
We have to try. We have to try. Can't give up.
Join Nationwide 90 FM from November 21 to December 19, every Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. as we broadcast live from Westmoreland, St. James, Trelawney, Hanover, and St. Elizabeth, helping families and communities rebuild after Hurricane Melissa.
And you can help too.
Bring your donations, non-perishable food, water, hygiene products, lighting, or recovery supplies to our office at 14 Ocean Boulevard, the Digital Building, downtown Kingston.
Let's show the true strength of our nation: unity, compassion, and care. Together, we can rebuild lives and restore hope. Nationwide 90 FM, the revolution in media.
Give us strength. Never let I fail.
Sports at 5 is brought to you by Total Tools. Total Tools, every tool, every trade.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. The 2025 Issa Schoolboy football season will resume in the week November 24 after being suspended for 2 weeks. Issa made the announcement, that's the Inter-Secondary School Sports Association. They made the announcement on Friday via social media. The governing body for local school sports says it consulted with its various stakeholders, including the participating schools or sponsors, match officials, and its general membership before arriving at the decision. Issa says even the schools most badly impacted by the passage of Hurricane Melissa voice wishes to return to the competition. The body, made up of school principals, says it's committed to using the competitions as a tool to aid in the recovery of students from the physical and psychological impact of Hurricane Melissa. However, Lenny Hyde, he's a coach of Dental Technical High School. He told Nationwide Sports on Friday that the schoolboy football season should have been called off.
I think it should have been abandoned. That is what my saying from Jump Street, that I think it should have been abandoned, cancelled, because there's too much to deal with, so much parishes got affected, so much schools, so much family, lost houses and all those things. I just think that it wasn't right to continue with the competition,
That's Lenny Hyde, the coach of Dental Technical. Revised schedules for all Issa competitions will be released by November 20. Junior football competitions, the Colts on the 16th and the Pepsi on the 14th will start in January of 2026. Before the postponement, the Manning or the Costa Cup competitions were at their round of 16 stage. Members of Jamaica's national senior football team, they're back on the island less than 24 hours after playing out a 1-1 draw with Trinidad and Tobago in a crucial CONCACAF World Cup qualifier at the Hazel Crawford Stadium in Port of Spain on Thursday night. Ronaldo Cephas' 53rd minute goal was cancelled out by the veteran Kevin Molino with his equalizer for Trinidad and Tobago on minute 85, leaving the Jamaicans needing a must-win game against Curaçao next week Tuesday here in Kingston if they are to make a second appearance at the World Cup. Coach Steve McLaren says the winner-take-all showdown was always on the cards, and he's urging the local support to come out in their numbers next Tuesday at the stadium to urge the team on to the World Cup.
We knew it would be the last game, and so it will be. And what we need on Tuesday is a great performance. 35,000 people. It's important that Jamaicans come and support us and make Tuesday a great occasion. It's not going to be easy. They're a very good team, but we know what we've got to do. We have to win. And I think the key for me was that we've got all the players available. We tried to protect the players with yellow cards. So we had them available for the second game. We thought we'd done that and managed the win, but that's football.
Coach Steve McLaren. In the meantime, Harbourview football team manager Clyde Giardini has labelled the team's performance against Trinidad last evening in Port of Spain as ordinary.
Ordinary, disappointing. I'm not sure what the decisions were from the technical group led by Coach McLaren, but I think, again, in a crucial away game, as they did in Curacao. The starting 11 selection for the starting 11 was in error. The team tactic was flawed. The substitutions were poor, and it led to a below par performance, where for a crucial game that should have put us in a strong position going into the final game, we're now in a weak position.
That's manager of Harborview Football Club, Clyde Giudini. You're going to hear lots more from Clyde in our next major sportscast that will come your way at 6:05 this evening. The West Indies under-19 team will open a new chapter in their ICC Cricket World Cup preparation on Sunday. They'll take on England in the first of a seven-match Youth One Day International Series. The games to be played at the National Stadium in Grenada. The series will serve as a vital checkpoint in assessing the Caribbean side's readiness for next year's Global Youth Tournament, with the head coach Rohan Nurse emphasizing the importance of continued growth and consistency for his developing squad. Orion Buchanan has more.
The Young Windies enter the England clash buoyed by their gritty 4-3 series victory over Sri Lanka in Antigua just over 2 months ago. Coach Rohan Nurse believes that experience marked by close finishes and pressure-filled moments has already contributed significantly to the team's maturation. 3 changes have been made from the squad that defeated Sri Lanka. All-rounder Deshaun James returns after recovering from an injury, while Kunal Tilakani and Tanes Francis, standout performance from the regional under-17 tournament, have earned call-ups following their recent domestic success. Missing out on this series are Afraz Ali Boudou, Micah Grange and Pajay Nelson, but all 3 remain firmly within the broader group of players being considered for the World Cup. They join Joel Andrew and Micah Mackenzie in a larger talent pool from which the final tournament squad will be selected in the coming months. With the World Cup drawing closer, Nurse says the England series will be invaluable not only for identifying combinations, but also for molding a cohesive unit capable of handling international pressure. West Indies under-19 squad includes Joshua Dorn, Shaquan Bell, Brandon Boudou, Tariq Bryan, Zachary Carter, Ursina Fontaine, Tanis Francis, Roger Gittins, Deshaun James, Vittel Laws, Matthew Miller, Israel Morton, Jakeem Pollard, Adian Racha, Kunal Tilokani, and Jonathan Van Lang. The 7-match series runs over 2 weeks with games scheduled across venues in Grenada as the Caribbean hopefuls look to sharpen their skills ahead of the World Cup journey. Orion Buchanan reporting for Nationwide Sports.
And that'll do it for sports. We're going to be back, as I said, the major sportscast at 6:05.
Sports at 5 was brought to you by Total Tools. Total Tools, every tool, every trade. From Kingston to the world, from Montego Bay to new adventures, and from Ocho Rios to endless possibilities. Wherever you're headed, we will proudly take you there. Jamaica's airport, your global gateway. The temperature brought to you by the Airports Authority of Jamaica is
31 degrees Celsius here in the nation's capital, Kingston. It's 29 in the western city, Montego Bay.
This is a public service announcement from JPS. JPS is urging customers not to pay anyone to have their electricity service reconnected. Customers are reminded that unauthorized reconnections can be extremely dangerous and can result in serious injury, electrocution, or damage to property. This practice is unethical, illegal, and could delay restoration efforts. If anyone claiming to represent JPS requests payment for reconnection services, report it immediately to the nearest police station or JPS. JPS thanks all customers for their patience as teams continue working to restore power safely and as quickly as possible. That was a public service announcement from JPS.
Me grew up as my granny save her money under her mattress.
But at all times something. That's where I save my money in the bank. And because I want to buy a little house, I also save in a building society. We have to be smart with how we save our money.
So what if the bank crash?
Well, that's where JDIC comes in. Make I tell you something. With the JDIC Deposit Insurance Scheme, once you save your money in a commercial bank, merchant bank, or building society, your deposit is covered up to a maximum of $1.2 million per depositor per financial institution if the institution fails. All the information that you need is available at jdic.org, and you can follow their social media platform for more information.
JDIC, protecting deposits for you and me.
Not a mercy. This one is very classic, dedicated to all the schoolers who are taking beats.
If you've ever struggled to pass an exam, then you'll know that students today are under great pressure to get good grades and secure qualification needed to move on to higher education. The problem is that too many students are struggling alone and could really benefit from connecting with hardworking teachers and other bright students in other parts of the country and the region. Join me, Dennis Brooks, this and every Friday evening from 8 to 9, with a repeat on Saturday morning from 8 to 9. For the A-Team, a study group on radio, my team of teachers, students, and experts will break down the syllabus, giving you information, tips, and past paper questions that will help you get top grades in your upcoming exams. Follow us on Facebook Live and on Twitter and be a part of the community. It's the A-Team. Fridays at 8 p.m. with a repeat at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. It's your free extra class on radio and social media. And it's right here on Nationwide 90 FM, the revolution in media.
Everything loud and wicked every Saturday 3 to 5 p.m. with Outside with Pepita. Loan vibes, loan laughs, and loan entertainment. Come on the road with me. Because when we say Outside with Pepita, we're there all over Jamaica. Anyway, check them out. We're there. We're in on the business. Stay tuned in for prizes, surprises, giveaways, guest artists, and enough more. But hold on there. We forget to big up my DJ. DJ Jerome, the shell boss, I'm gonna make you bust to pew pew with the maddest, baddest, and latest tunes. So look out for Outside with Pepita. We might be coming to a town near you. You heard it here first. Outside with Pepita, Saturdays 3 to 5 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM. The new revolution in media. Jamaica, lock it in and don't miss a thing.
Good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us here on Nationwide at 5 for this hopeful Friday.
Oh, yes.
It's time for the cover story. I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Professor Donna Hope.
And if you didn't get it, it's Hopeful Friday.
Yeah, whenever I'm here, we're hopeful.
Yeah, right. All right, and we are going to be talking about matters of hope and faith because during the passage of Hurricane Melissa approximately 2 weeks ago, thousands of buildings were destroyed, and according to the Director General at ODPIM, Commander Alvin Gale, nearly 200,000 of them sustained damage during the passage of the Category 5 system. Melissa also left more than 90,000 families homeless.
Several churches across the island are part of the damaged infrastructure. And to discuss Melissa's impact on churches, we are joined by the Catholic priest, Father King de Asphalt, of the Holy Cross Catholic Church in Halfway Tree, and the National Secretary Treasurer of the New Testament Church of God, Reverend Agilon Ferdinand, who's also coordinating their disaster response. I think we should be having the first presiding bishop of the Assemblies of God in Jamaica, Reverend David Ewing, joining us later. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good afternoon. Good evening to both of you and to everyone listening.
All right. Yes. Father Asphalt, let me start with you. Churches out west, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth. How did the Catholic churches fare?
Well, first of all, when we think of churches, I want to make it clear that churches are not only buildings. Mm-hmm. Churches are people, the body of Christ. So when you talk about churches, we're talking about two things here. Structures, and we are talking about the body of Christ, the people of God that make up the body of Christ. Mm-hmm. Okay. So first of all, the structures were damaged. Mm-hmm. We suffered quite a number of damage to our Catholic churches in the Western Belt. namely the Diocese of Mandeville, which comprises of Manchester, Clarendon, St. Elizabeth, and the Diocese of Montego Bay, St. James, St. Anne, Trelawney, Hanover, Westmoreland, and quite a number of our churches lost roofs. Quite a number were totally destroyed. And along with that, rectories where the priest lives, or manse, or presbytery, quite a number were destroyed. Minimal damage in the Kingston end, the Archdiocese of Kingston, St. Catherine, St. Mary, Kingston, St. Andrew, Portland, St. Thomas. Nothing to write home about, so to speak, as compared to the damage done on the western belt.
And we have to
infrastructure damage.
Infrastructure damage. And I just want to bring in Reverend Ferdinand from the New Testament Church of God, who is also coordinating the disaster response for the Church of God, the New Testament Church of God across Jamaica. Reverend Ferdinand, what about for your own congregations in the affected areas as well as outside of those? How have they been? What has happened with the infrastructure, first of all, and then the congregations?
Okay, thank you very much. Well, just as the priest indicated, we suffered significant loss to many of our congregations. We operate 123 congregations in the Cornwall region and roughly about 20,000 members throughout that region. So far, we've had 90 reports from our churches. And of that 90, we have about 40 of those churches that we will need to rebuild. Some of them were completely destroyed, and others suffered significant structural damage that would require a new building. We've also had many of our churches facing significant roof loss and other kinds of structural damage that is not in the rank of a rebuild, but would require significant repair work in the future. When we met with our pastors today in St. Elizabeth, I'm on my way from St. Elizabeth and I stopped by the side of the road to be able to have this conversation with you. Most of our pastors from that region reported to us that 95% of their members lost either their complete roofs or significant damage to their homes or complete destruction of their homes. So we do face a situation where many of our church buildings, as well as the homes of those who attend our churches, were either significantly damaged or completely destroyed.
Yeah. Yes. And before I go to Bishop, well, let me go to Bishop now. First, Presiding Bishop David Ewan. Good afternoon, Bishop.
Good afternoon to you, sir. Good afternoon to your listeners.
Yeah, let me ask you for the overview, the assessment so far. How have your churches held up?
Okay, in the western side, as you know, the hardest hit took place, and 21 of our 86 churches across the island, and in this area, in the Cornwall area, 21 of our churches were hit. Roof taken, roof collapsed, or was totally destroyed. And as you would expect, a lot of our members were affected with their houses.
Yes.
Reverend Ewan?
Yes, Reverend Ewan. Oh, we lost him?
Seems we lost him.
Okay.
All right, let me go to Father Aswell.
Is he back? Reverend Ewan?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, please continue.
Yes. So, overall, from Middlesex coming to the western side to Cornwall, we have suffered 30%, around 30% of our churches that were damaged at various levels. But as I said, we have about 5-6 churches, mainly wooden structures that were totally destroyed.
I wanted to ask you, Father Aswell, because you made the distinction at the top of the discussion that church is not just a physical building, but also, as you described it, the body of Christ, the people of God. And I suppose I'd ask you as well, how are the Catholics in Western Jamaica? What have you been hearing?
Well, they have been severely affected, as many other persons are, and a lot of help has been reaching out to them. The outreach ministry has intensified, and slow by slow, we're trying to bring some semblance of, first of all, calm to their disturbed minds, and many are just feeling lost. So psychosocial needs are very much there. So, and for many, we have to try to restore their faith in God, and give them some kind of a hope that in the midst of all of this, that God is present, and they should never lose sight of the presence of God.
Yes.
Sorry, finish the thought.
And never see this as any kind of a punishment from God, but God is still in the mess.
Yeah.
So we have to rebuild their hope and their faith.
And I'm happy you went there, because that's what I've been thinking about. How do people of faith go through this difficult period? I mean, in some instances, people would have lost everything. They'd have lost their homes, they'd have lost their livelihoods, their businesses,
their farms,
right? And
everything.
These might have been very loyal, faithful Christians. After the break, I want to hear all three of you gentlemen on how you, I suppose it's counsel.
How do you balance the
right, and help your congregation through this?
Yes, because a lot of people are looking at the conversation and thinking, I did a course at university as an undergraduate, God and Evil, with a theologian. It caused us to think quite a lot about situations like these. So we'd want to hear from you gentlemen when
after
you return.
The break.
Yes.
Protecting your personal data is a priority for the Jamaica Customs Agency. We urge you to use the agency's official platforms to conduct your business. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
5:45.
Enough power tool, big to small. Chaka my figure dig the wall. Upper Total Tools. Weed waka figure trim the lawn. We have everything a job demand. Total Tools. We rent them, sell them and fix them. Also give Total Tools a call. When I say home improvement, landscape construction, a Total Tools are your option. Home improvement, landscape construction, Total Tools are your option. Total Tools located at 102 Main Street, Ocho Rios, 34 Slipe Road, Kingston, and Lot C6 Jacksaw, Sentence Bay. Call us today.
Welcome back Nationwide at 5, and we're speaking, of course, about the passage of Hurricane Melissa and the impact on churches, not just the infrastructure, but also the body, the congregation, the men and women who are a part of the various denominations. We're talking with, of course, First Presiding Bishop of the Assemblies of God in Jamaica, Reverend David Ewing, and Catholic priest Father Kingsley Asphalt, and the National Secretary Treasurer of the New Testament Church of God, Reverend Ferdinand. Gentlemen, we are back with you, and before the break, Ricardo posed a very important question. A lot of persons have been ruminating on it. Can you, yes, Ricardo, remind us of the question?
Yeah, Reverend Ferdinand, let me start with you.
Yes.
How does that conversation work? Because you have people who are devout Christians, they've served God all their lives, and then they're struck by a natural disaster that wipes out essentially their entire existence outside of their lives. They've lost everything. How do you approach that conversation?
Yes.
Yes, that is a very difficult matter, very difficult situation for Christians to face. One of the things that I believe we as Christians, people of God, recognize is that we are all subject to the same earthly experiences. We are not exempt from natural disasters and the impact of natural disasters, and they do have a way of destroying everything in our lives. And when that happens, I think what anchors the Christian is the belief that God is a sovereign God, that everything is in his control, good and bad experiences are in his control, and that he is to be glorified in all circumstances. That's the baseline, I think, that anchors the hope and the life of believers. Also, I think believers also recognize that they can find solace in the presence of God and the Spirit of God, the love of God. And so whereas we may lose the material things around us, we are very deeply conscious that we cannot be separated from and be disconnected from God's faithful and enduring love in our lives. And that is something that we use to sustain us during times of increased difficulty. God is a present help in times of trouble. We believe also that when disaster strikes, that there may be sometimes a lesson of sorts. Disasters can be a moment for deep reflection on what is valuable, what is important, and of embracing family, embracing community, and creating.
Yes.
Reverend Ferdinand?
Reverend Ferdinand? Did we lose him?
Seems he dropped. Bishop Ewan?
As said by Reverend Ferdinand earlier, I have to agree, yes, we are not immune from, as you said, natural disasters. As Christians, we are also subject to those issues. But I think the big debate is whether God do include the church, include the Christians. That's what I'm hearing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying, yes, God does things and he allows things. And this is scripturally based. He does things and he also allows things for various reasons. Sometimes we cannot understand why, but at the same time, the issue is also the matter of judgment. It is scripturally backed by that God also does things for judgment. The next thing I want to say is scripture also put the fact that there are times even the Christians are subject to judgment, because God is working his purpose to call us back to where we are supposed to be in God. So I'm not going to shy away from the fact that God also will create or allow, because in the scriptures he said to Jerusalem, he said, I'll leave your house desolate,
Mm-hmm.
and then things will happen. In Psalms, he says he allows and he causes desolation. But let me just say,
but before you go on, Bishop, isn't that a difficult thing to say to a devout Christian who has always gone to church, has lived according to the precepts of Christianity, and then they find themselves completely devastated, and then they hear from their religious leader, this is God's righteous judgment. Is that a difficult thing to say?
So I'm just saying, I'm not concluding that this is it. I'm just saying scripture backs situations like those, and it's always God calling us back to a place where he can really restore and really accomplish his purpose. So I'm not drawing a conclusion here. I'm just saying a range of possibilities that are shared in scripture. And I think many times we shy away from it. But at the other end, I want to say, in closing my area here, God is no stranger also to this. In Genesis, it shows us the earth at a point was without form and void. But as was said earlier, the presence of God at work, the word of God at work, does create restoration. I'm amazed to see the trees in my yard begin to bloom again. And that is the work of God, the work of restoration. I'm in Westmoreland, and when I went into some areas 2 days after the storm, it was just seeming desolate, brown. But today I drove past and I started to see the vegetation coming back. It's a God of restoration and our God of health.
Yeah.
But we need to also bring in Father Asphalt, because in a lot of ways individuals are still asking, how does this happen in a situation where God is love? Is it that God is also responsible for natural disasters of this sort? There are a lot of questions that we hear on the ground, Father Asphalt. How do you talk to not just your congregants, but also individuals who are not in your own, the body of your church, about the expectations and how they respond in these kind of situations? What are your own words?
God is God, and God will always be God.
Yes.
And we talk about the permissive will of God. God allows things to happen. God does his thing in his own way, in his own time. And God uses situations, persons, and things to draw us even closer to him.
Yes.
And so You know, in times like these, we Jamaicans, we are a people of strength and resilience, and God's love is unwavering. God still loves us. And the resilience that we all have as Jamaicans, it is born from community.
Yes.
And we are going to get through this. We all need grounding in hope. And hope is not the denial of the difficulty.
Yes.
Hope is not denying that we have been hit by a hurricane. Hope is the courage to act despite the challenges, despite the loss, despite the destruction, despite the damage. And as Bob Marley once said, you never know how strong you are until being strong is your only choice. And again, I'm called to mind Chronix. He said, do it for the love, not for the likes. So whatever we are doing to help each other, we are doing it out of love for God and love for one another.
Powerful
this year,
words.
The Catholic Church is celebrating a year of hope, pilgrims for hope, pilgrims of hope. And each of us is a pilgrim of hope. And Paul, in writing to the church at Rome in chapter 5, says, hope is not deceptive. Hope does not disappoint, because the love of God has been poured into our hearts. And one songwriter puts it very beautifully when he says, my hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness. And he ends by the second verse, he says, when darkness veils his lovely face, I rest on his unchanging grace. In every high and stormy gale, my anchor holds within the veil. So the presence of God, God is present in the messiness of our lives. God is present in the wind, the fire, the earthquake, the hurricane. The presence of God is there, and we must never lose sight of the presence of God, because we are pilgrims of hope, and hope does not disappoint.
Yeah.
And as we rebuild infrastructures, we need to rebuild people's lives, people's faith, and people's hope in God.
Yeah.
And that's where the psychosocial element comes in. The mental, the emotional, and all of that goes with it.
Which will be critical.
Very.
Reverend Ewan, let me ask you this question now. In terms of the rebuilding efforts, we know a lot of churches, a lot of congregations, you rely on collection, tithes. Yeah. A lot of these people have lost everything, and so they may not have the financial wherewithal to be able to contribute. How does that rebuilding look now? Is it insurance? Are you going to be calling on the congregants? How does that look going forward?
Well, again, we give God thanks.
Go ahead.
Yes. After Rev, then it will come to you, Father.
Yes.
We give God thanks. Again, as was said earlier, God is a God of restoration. He's a God of love, and He's a God of health. So what we have done, we have transformed ourselves into a body of care, the Assemblies of God in Jamaica. And immediately after the hurricane, God provided. We started having discussion with partner Convoy of Hope, which is an affiliate and a partner, and they came into Jamaica within the week, by the Friday after the storm. And now we have been able to, first of all, go after the saving of lives through food and covering. And so the Assemblies of God has transformed itself into that. And we have been distributing literally millions of dollars of food. We have not called on the congregants to do this. God has provided, as we said, He cares, and He has been paying attention. So we have been going into the hard-hit communities, and we have been sharing food and loving our people, gathering them with prayer without judgment, because, look, that is what God calls us to do. So the process has started. As it pertains to rebuilding, I agree, I heard earlier, we have to begin to look on how we build, considering the fact that these storms are more intense. So from the Assemblies of God's position, churches are adapting communities. Those who were not hit in the eastern side and the Middlesex are adapting communities in the west and are taking care and helping to move forward. So we give God thanks. We are in it, and as said, we are resilient, and we have God, His presence, moving and helping with the restoration.
Yeah.
Father Asphalt.
Father Asphalt, is it donations, contributions, collections, or is there some insurance in place?
I think it would be disingenuous to really ask those who have been affected to get into their pockets at this time.
Mm-hmm.
But thank God, help has been coming in, international help and local help. And as Brother there said, those who have not been severely affected are also reaching out to help.
Mm-hmm.
And I think also too that this is an opportune time for Christian bodies to work together. Ecumenism. An opportune time for us to work together to restore people's lives and faith right across denominational barriers.
Yes.
This is a very important time for that. For
If I may, I know I spoke already, but my brother has just spoken something very strong, because I don't want to miss that, because a synergy has been developed across denominations right here. And even Sunday, that was the approach. We were together as denominations serving into the communities, and that is a blessing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Father Asphalt, you'll have the final word.
Father Asphalt, the final word. We're at the end, yes?
Well, and that spirit should continue, not just during bad times, but also in good times. That spirit of togetherness, where we work together as church, as the body of Christ. We work together for the good of our nation and for the good of souls.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
A note of unity there from some of the country's religious leaders. First presiding bishop of the Assemblies of God in Jamaica, Reverend David Ewan, Catholic priest.
God bless you.
Father Kingsley Asphalt, he's the pastor at Holy Cross Catholic Church in Halfway Tree.
And the word.
we also had National Secretary Treasurer of the New Testament Church of God, Reverend Agilon Ferdinand. He's also coordinating their disaster response.
And the word is hope. That's what I'm leaving it.
The word is hope.
Definitely.
I'll accept that. And unity.
And unity.
I'll accept that.
Yes, we will.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. The headlines are next.
The time brought to you by Guardian Life. Live secure, live easy is...
A minute after 6.
Nationwide headlines at 6.
Good evening with the headlines at 6. I'm Shalois Michael. One of the persons of interest in the double murder of 2 policemen on Thursday has surrendered to the police. The suspect is Macarius Monroe, otherwise called Mackie, of a Kingston address. Head of the Police Area 4, Assistant Commissioner Michael Phipps, is urging the other persons of interest to follow suit.
About 4 p.m. this afternoon, a main suspect in the double murder of Constables Gordon and Stewart actually turned himself into the Hunts Bay Criminal Investigations branch. He was accompanied to the station by a Justice of the Peace, and he's now being interviewed and further workup being done around him. We are urging the 2 remaining suspects, Junior Brown of 13 Seaward Drive, Kingston 20, and Cardell Insang, otherwise called Squidley, of a 91 Waltham Park Road, Kingston 13 address, to report to the police no later than 6 p.m. today.
Constable Charles Stewart and Constable Jeremy Gordon were shot and killed by 3 gunmen at around 7:30 p.m. They were at a business establishment at 83 Waltham Park Road to resolve a matter concerning a stolen motor vehicle. The constables were off duty at the time. ACP Phipps is reminding citizens that it's a crime to harbor fugitives.
We want to further urge our responsible citizenry not to harbor these men who are wanted, because this might constitute a criminal offense for which they can be prosecuted. So we want to really give that warning.
Assistant Commissioner Michael Phipps, head of Police Area 4. The Independent Commission of Investigations, INDICOM, has launched an investigation into the death of a detainee at Flatbridge, St. Catherine on Wednesday. The man, 73-year-old Melton Smith, jumped from a police vehicle while being transported to the Spanish Town police station. Upon reaching Flatbridge, Smith seemingly lunged from the vehicle. He hit the concrete of the bridge, then flipped into the river. Smith was being transported to answer to allegations he sexually assaulted a child. Commissioner of INDICOM Hugh Faulkner says the police personnel involved will be interviewed today.
The INDICOM team processed the scene, canvassed for witnesses, and CCTV footage. Mr. Smith was transported to the Linstead Hospital, where a medical officer pronounced him dead. The 4 concerned officers were interviewed by INDICOM and their accounts recorded. Each JCF officer was served with a Section 21 notice pursuant to the INDICOM Act and scheduled for interview today, Friday, November 14, 2025. Other investigative steps were taken with regard to the motor vehicle involved and the tire. The family liaison officer of the commission has been engaged in the matter.
Hugh Faulkner, Commissioner of INDICOM. The Holness Administration is set to review building standards used to construct schools following extensive damage to several campuses caused by Hurricane Melissa. The country's multilateral partners are being asked to assist with the effort after several schools which were repaired after Hurricane Beryl last year were again damaged by Hurricane Melissa. Education Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon says this calls into question the quality of work done.
What made me quite unhappy was the fact that last year after Hurricane Beryl, some of those very schools were repaired. And 1 year later, we're back at repairing them. So that raises questions for me about the quality of work that would have been done. And it also raises other questions about standards and the standards of our schools. And so I've asked some of our multilateral partners to work with us to look at the building standards around schools, because it's not acceptable that you have a hurricane 1 year, you fix it, and then the next year you're back at it again.
364 schools were impacted by Hurricane Beryl. That figure nearly doubled following Hurricane Melissa. Minister Morris-Dixon says climate resilient schools are the way forward.
There are many schools that have done a tremendous job. You know, they're trying to help themselves, and they'll add a classroom here and a classroom there, or they'll do some work on a new hall or something like that. And in many instances, as I've gone around, a lot of those have been destroyed. And so as we move forward, we're going to have to ensure that even where schools are doing their own fundraising and building structures, that they are built within particular standards, because we have to get climate resilient schools in our country.
Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon, Minister of Education. State Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Senator Abka Fitz-Henley, is seeking to assure the residents of Trelawney that they've not been forgotten in the ongoing hurricane relief effort. The senator was speaking with the media after joining State Ministers Rhoda Moy Crawford and Marissa Dalrymple Philibert in delivering care packages and building supplies to families in the parish.
Look, we're aware that much of the media attention has been focused on St. James, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth, and help has been sent to those parishes. Indeed, much more is on the way. But to the people of Trelawney, we say that you have not been forgotten. The government of Jamaica is aware of your plight and the extensive scale of the damage, and assistance is on the way. The Prime Minister has directed his state ministers to assist the people where necessary, and that has occasioned the visit of myself and Minister Crawford to Trelawney today.
Senator Abka Fitz-Henley. Minister Crawford is encouraging all stakeholders to intensify efforts to help the people of Trelawney.
The damage seen today is far more than I had imagined. However, the people remain in high spirit. They were very happy to see us, very thankful for the relief items. And I want to use this opportunity to make a special appeal to those who can join hands and heart and help us to give some support to the residents.
Rhoda Moy Crawford. Those were the headlines at 6. I'm Shalois Michael. Sports is next.
This is Deposit Insurance in a minute. Under the JDIC, business accounts are insured separately from the owner's personal accounts up to 1.2 million.
Hold on there. So my little shop money and my little savings money insured separately?
As long as your savings and business accounts are in a bank or building society.
Well, that's not bad.
To learn more about how deposit insurance works, visit the JDIC website at www.jdic.org or follow on Facebook, Instagram, and X at JDIC Jam.
JDIC, protecting deposits for you and me.
This is a public service announcement from JPS. JPS is urging customers not to pay anyone to have their electricity service reconnected. Customers are reminded that unauthorized reconnections can be extremely dangerous and can result in serious injury, electrocution, or damage to property. This practice is unethical, illegal, and could delay restoration efforts. If anyone claiming to represent JPS requests payment for reconnection services, report it immediately to the nearest police station or JPS. JPS thanks all customers for their patience as teams continue working to restore power safely and as quickly as possible. That was a public service announcement from JPS.
Good evening with your sports report. I'm Alex Swaby. We kick things off with some footballers. Members of Jamaica's national senior men's football delegation are back on the island less than 24 hours after playing out a 1-1 draw with Trinidad and Tobago in their CONCACAF World Cup qualifier at the Hazel Crawford Stadium in Port of Spain. Ronaldo Cephas' 53rd minute strike was cancelled out by substitute Kevin Molino's 85th minute item, leaving Jamaica needing a win against Curacao next Tuesday at the National Stadium to gain automatic qualification to the World Cup. Coach Stephen McLaren says the winner-take-all showdown was always on the cards, and he's urging the local support to be out in their numbers to will on the team to a second World Cup appearance.
We knew it would be the last game, and so it will be. And what we need on Tuesday is a great performance. 35,000 people. It's important that Jamaicans come and support us and make Tuesday a great occasion. It's not going to be easy. A very good team, but we know what we've got to do. We have to win. And I think the key for me was that we've got all the players available. We tried to protect the players with yellow cards, so we had them available for the second game. We thought we'd done that and managed the win, but that's football.
Steve McLaren. Meanwhile, Harbourview football team manager Clyde Jordini has labelled the team's performance against Trinidad and Tobago as ordinary.
Ordinary, disappointing. I'm not sure what the decisions were from the technical group led by Coach McLaren, but I think, again, in a crucial away game, as they did in Curacao, the starting 11 selection for the starting 11 was in error. The team tactic was flawed. The substitutions were poor, and it led to a below par performance, where for a crucial game that should have put us in a strong position going into the final game, we're now in a weak position.
The veteran administrator says this is by far the easiest FIFA World Cup qualification the Reggae Boy have had in their history, adding that the country should not be in this situation.
If we lose, we could go into a secondary group to go to a player, but that's a much more difficult task that we shouldn't have to expose ourselves to. For me, this is the easiest group and the easiest mode of qualification for a senior World Cup campaign we have ever had in our more than 50 to 60 years of World Cup qualification. We should not be in this position at this time.
Clyde Jordini. Now, the 2025 Easter Schoolboy football season will resume the week of November 24 after being suspended for over 2 weeks. Easter made the announcement on Friday via social media. The governing body for local school sports says it consulted with its various stakeholders, including participating schools, sponsors, match officials, and its general memberships before arriving at the decision. Issa says even the schools most badly impacted by the passage of Hurricane Melissa voiced wishes to return to competition. The body made up of schools' principals says it's committed to using the competition as a tool to aid in the recovery of students from the physical and the psychological impact of Hurricane Melissa. However, Lenny Hyde, coach of Dintale Technical, told Nationwide Sports on Friday that a schoolboy football season should have been called off.
I think it should have been abandoned. That is what my saying from Jump Street, that I think it should have been abandoned, cancelled, because there's too much to deal with, so much parishes got affected, so much schools, so much family, lost houses and all those things. I just think that it wasn't right to continue with the competition,
Hyde says his squad has been doing some light training.
We are training, we are ready. We are taking our time and get our act together. The school got some damages also and they fixed the roof. We have to call in back the players for we have to send them home. So we are getting back some of them on the dorm now. So we start a little training now. So we take part if it starts,
Lenny Hyde. Revised schedules for all Easter competition will be released by November 20. Junior football competitions, the Colts Under 16 and the Pepsi Under 14 will begin in January 2026. Before the postponement, the Manning and the Costa Cup competitions were at the round of 16 stage. Now to cricket, as the West Indies Under 19 team opens a new chapter in their ICC Cricket World Cup preparation on Sunday when they face England in the first of a 7-match youth one-day international series at the National Stadium in Grenada. The series serves as a vital checkpoint in assessing the Caribbean side's readiness for next year's global tournament, with head coach Rohan Nurse emphasizing the importance of continued growth and consistency from his developing squad. Orin Buchanan tells us more.
The young Windies enter the England clash, buoyed by their gritty 4-3 series victory over Sri Lanka in Antigua just over 2 months ago. Coach Rohan Nurse believes that experience marked by close finishes and the pressure-filled moments has already contributed significantly to the team's maturation. 3 changes have been made from the squad that defeated Sri Lanka. All-rounder Deshaun James returns after recovering from an injury, while Kunal Tilakani and Tanes Francis, standout performance from the regional Under-17 tournament, have earned call-ups following their recent domestic success. Missing out on this series are Afraz Ali Boudou, Micah Greenidge and Pajay Nelson, but all 3 remain firmly within the broader group of players being considered for the World Cup. They join Joel Andrew and Micah McKenzie in a larger talent pool from which the final tournament squad will be selected in the coming months. With the World Cup drawing closer, Nurse says the England series will be invaluable not only for identifying combinations, but also for molding a cohesive unit capable of handling international pressure. West Indies Under-19 squad includes Joshua Dorn, Shaquan Bell, Brandon Boudou, Tariq Bryan, Zachary Carter, Ursina Fontaine, Tanis Francis, Roger Gittins, Deshaun James, Vittel Laws, Matthew Miller, Israel Morton, Jakeem Pollard, Adian Racha, Kunal Tilokani, and Jonathan Van Lang. The 7-match series runs over 2 weeks with games scheduled across venues in Grenada as the Caribbean hopefuls look to sharpen their skills ahead of the World Cup journey. Orin Buchanan reporting for Nationwide Sports.
Thank you, Orin. Now to basketball. Jamaica's senior women's basketball team will be aiming to secure back-to-back victories when they face the Bahamas on Friday at the Caribbean Women's Basketball Championships starting at 7:30 p.m. Jamaica time. The Jamaicans made a strong start to the tournament on Wednesday, cruising to an 86-47 win over Suriname. Dominant on both ends of the court, Jamaica showcased depth, defensive intensity, and efficient scoring as they began their bid for regional supremacy. With momentum on their side, the team now turns its attention to the Bahamas, hoping to tighten their grip on a top 3 finish a position that would secure qualification for next year's Central Basket Women's Championships. Coach of Jamaica, O'Neal Brown, says the Bahamas may be suffering from fatigue.
The ladies are in high spirit. We had a great practice this morning and a great vibe. The preparation was great. And we are very optimistic and confident that we'll win this game. Bahamas on the next hand. This is their third night in a row playing. We did get a day off yesterday, so I think that's an advantage going into this game to try and keep on pressing them, wear them out. The chances are great and we're looking forward to the challenge.
O'Neal Brown. Now to athletics, as 12 under-18 athletes have been selected for the World Athletics Athlete Refugee Team and will be candidates for the 2026 Youth Refugee Olympic Team following a trial event held earlier this month in Kampala. 9 years after the first refugee team program was established in Kenya, the Olympic Refugee Foundation and World Athletics jointly extended the initiative to neighboring Uganda in collaboration with the National Olympic Committee, Uganda Athletics, and the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. President of the Jamaica Olympic Association, Christopher Samuda, says any action to empower displaced youth must be supported.
When politics and societal instability make refugees of aspiring athletes, the call in sport must be for inclusion. When aspiring youth who want to self-actualize as part of their development as human beings, the call in sport must be, it should be, to empower them. Any initiative to achieve this must be supported, particularly as sport is an invaluable instrument of social cohesion, brotherhood, and is an inspiration to our youth.
Christopher Samuda. And finally, in horse racing, Chairman of Supreme Ventures Racing and Entertainment Limited, Solomon Sharp, believes Sunday's lineup for the 5th running of the Jamaica Cup is the best to date. 12 local horses, including Fun Can Done, Run Julie Run, and Mojito, will line up for the 9.5 furlong trip in a bid to etch their name alongside the likes of Further and Beyond and Atomica as winners of the event.
This is arguably the best Jamaica Cup field assembled thus far. So the quality from all 12 horses, phenomenal. When we put together this race and this whole race card, things take a while to develop, and now we're seeing it fully develop into what we knew that it could have been. I'm telling you, the place is buzzing, and you have 6 horses, right, out of 12 that will be in single digit odds. What that says is that people not sure who's going to win.
Sharp says there's a buzz around the track for what's shaping up to be an exciting card that also features the Port Royal Sprint.
This is not a foregone conclusion race, and it can go anywhere. So it's a great assembly of horses. The 9 horses in the Port Royal Sprint are also of top quality. But when you look on the entire race card, a nicely built competitive race card, and this Sunday, where no other sport in town is happening, Caymanas Park has to be the place to be.
Solomon Sharp. The winner of the Jamaica Cup will earn a place in the Mute Mile set for December 6. Fun Can Done is the defending champion of the Mute Mile. I'm Alex Swiby, and that's your sports.
For all your scales and food processing equipment, call Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited at 876-968-9612-5. The time by Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited is
6:21.
That could be your brand new 2026 Beijing X55 SUV for just $2,500. It's the JSSE's first ever car raffle. Grab your tickets at Fontana, York Pharmacy, Fesco, Mothers, Bosworth, Supreme Ventures, or online at jsseja.com or caribtix.com. Entry ends November 29, grand draw December 11, 2025. Proceeds support JSSE projects. Learn more at jsse.jamstockex.com. Approved by the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission. Must be 18 years or older to enter. Rev up your Christmas for just $2,500.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825 to 8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Come into the parlor, there's a welcome there for you.
Welcome to the Mayor's Parlor with Desmond McKenzie.
From 1 to 6 p.m. every Sunday, you'll now get more of your favorite vintage music.
Put your head on my shoulder.
Nationwide 90 FM will transform your Sunday into a musical time machine that will take you way back.
Come with me. Let's go back in time.
This magic moment.
Journey into yesteryear with Desmond McKenzie in the Mayor's Parlor.
I've got the music to jog your memory and make you smile.
Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the best in vintage music.
Come into the Mayor's Parlor every Sunday between 1 and 6 p.m. here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Public Opinion is brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Good evening, and welcome to Public Opinion. New face, Oreen Buchanan here. The topic is, do you think the Reggae Boys will be Curacao next Tuesday? And this is football action, FIFA World Cup qualification. As you know, Jamaica drew 1-1 with sweet TNT last night in Port of Spain. Jamaica will need a draw, can't get a draw, will need a victory next Tuesday at the National Stadium to book their spot in a second FIFA World Cup appearance following their first back in 1998. Comments on the Instagram, hey, it's Lady K. Hutchinson says no. That's Frank. Mobile Sports Zone 100% as long as the coach starts the right 11. Free up Bowser, that's Shemar Nicholson and Kaim, and watch them run riot upon Curacao. Leighton Levy says not if we play like we did against TNT. So reactions coming into the Reggae Boys performance last night in Port of Spain, as their opponents, Curacao, are looking to become the smallest country, smallest nation to book their spot in the FIFA Showpiece event. There's a clip that we played earlier in the Sportscast with Clyde Jardini. Clyde Jardini is the general manager of Jamaica Premier League team Harbourview. He's also a respected football commentator and analyst. I would just like to replay that clip that we played earlier. He's saying that the performance of the Reggae Boys last night was nothing short of ordinary.
Disappointing. I'm not sure what the decisions were from the technical group led by Coach McLaren, but I think, again, in a crucial away game, as they did in Curacao, the starting 11 selection for the starting 11 was in error. The team tactic was flawed. The substitutions were poor, and it led to a below par performance, where for a crucial game that should have put us in a strong position going into the final game, we're now in a weak position.
So that has been the majority consensus thus far. A lot of people saying Jamaica the coaching staff did poorly to send out that team to play against Trinidad and Tobago last night. I mean, for the coach's standpoint, they're saying that no matter what the result would have been last night in TNT, the main focus would be come next Tuesday, needing a victory. They back themselves to get a victory against Curacao, at the National Stadium to book their spot. Also, the second clip I want to play from that interview that we did earlier. This, a lot of persons saying, is the easiest route Jamaica's ever had to go through to get back to a FIFA World Cup. And I totally agree with that. I agree that with the players we have, the format and everything, it suits Jamaica well to get back to that games. No USA as we usually have to face, no Mexico, No, Canada's, they are the teams that are hosting the FIFA Showpiece event next year. So those teams are out of the way. No, El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala, the normal teams that give Jamaica trouble, they are out of the way. And Jamaica still find themselves in a position where they have to win to secure automatic qualification to next year's World Cup. I would just like to replay that clip that we did earlier.
If we lose, we could go into a secondary group to go to a player, but that's a much more difficult task that we shouldn't have to expose ourselves to. For me, this is the easiest group and the easiest mode of qualification for a senior World Cup campaign we have ever had in our more than 50 to 60 years of World Cup qualification. We should not be in this position at this time.
So comments coming in on the YouTube. Let me see if I can get these names right. Sharon Bless says the Reggae Boys better drink some horse tonic before them play the next match. Wonder what horse tonic will do on a football field, Sharon. Dennis Barnaby, I agree with Clyde's assessment. The coach is making some basic error, and that has been the general consensus from people ever since Steve McLaren came to the island. I mean, his selection has been under scrutiny. Has been very much scrutinized by everyone who knows soccer. Armchair pundits alike have said that his selection, his starting 11, isn't the best. He has some of the better playing players on the bench to those, and Jamaica needs to be better in selecting the best starting 11 to go on the field. Half and half says, yeah, I can't go over that comment. Half and half. You have to clean up that. Let me see. When you play soccer, you have to read each player's mind before he or she even play the ball. I did not see that last night watching the game. Fair enough comment. Errol Murray, them better win or must stop watch Jamaican football. Brick Road, Coach McLaren and JFF boss needs to pack their bags. Wow, that's pretty harsh. Mario Henry, Ronaldo Sifa shouldn't have been substituted. And the comments keep going in. Speed has picked the side. McLaren is a figurehead. So those were the comments coming in quick and fast on the YouTube chat. A lot of persons not in favor of how the Reggae Boys are going to be when they face Curacao come next Tuesday at the National Stadium. Hermine Dawkins said it's going to be tough. The boys' schoolboy effort against Trinidad is no match for Curacao. With a majority Dutch players, that has to improve with the match. And also Mick Hughes says, agree with comments, or do you say Nicholson is the best striker in the region and he doesn't play? Another comment coming in, Orain 3-1 Tuesday. So a prediction score. That's another angle I think we can take in the 2 or 3 minutes that we have. Send in your prediction scores. What do you think will happen next Tuesday when Jamaica face Curacao in a must-win game for the Reggae Boys for automatic qualification to the FIFA World Cup? Send in your score prediction. Okay, I see Jamaica will win 2-1 from Beverly Bogle. Who else has some scores coming? Only 2 scores thus far. One says 3-1 Tuesday. Not sure 3-1 in favor of whom, Jamaica or Curacao. Beverly says Jamaica will win 2-1. I'll save my score prediction until Monday night, after the press conference and the training and everything. I'll leave mine until Tuesday night. So score predictions in favor of the Jamaicans, 2 in favor of the Jamaicans. Grant 5306 says 2-1 in favor of Jamaica. DJ Perry, sounds like doom and gloomy, says not going to the World Cup. Another comment coming in, people should stop watching the game with ignorance because Jamaica wasn't playing by themselves. Trinidad was also playing. Very good comment there, because people think Jamaica were playing by themselves last night. The Trinidad and Tobago, they were playing for their lives as well. So everything was on the line there. So I think that's it. Short public opinion, I think it is. Not getting the wrap-up signal, but I'll take the privilege to say wrap-up. Short public opinion, Jamaica Reggae Boys, not the comments in favor of them. A lot of people are still nervous about the Reggae Boys' possibility to make it to their second World Cup following France 1998. A lot of nervous fans in the chat saying they're not sure if Jamaica would make it to the World Cup. Another one coming in anyway. I'm predicting a 3-1 in favor of the Reggae Boys. So
Mikey Barnes there sending in one, tied 1-1. Earl Foster McLaren was never considered for Man U doing 4 managerial changes. Why would a paper carrier to take charge? Okay, so those are the comments from you guys in our public opinion, not in favor of the Reggae Boys. We'll see what happens after Tuesday night if the Jamaica Reggae Boys will secure automatic qualification to the 2026 World Cup. That's it for public opinion. I'm yours truly, Oreen Buchanan.
Public Opinion was brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Drive the most exciting new vehicles in Jamaica. Schedule your 2024 Ford Ranger pickup or Ford Everest 7-seater SUV test drive now. Call or visit KIG today.
The time by KIG is
6:33.
Spring into style with Unique Living. Upgrade your home with our extensive range of products. Get sleek shower panels, stylish vanities, LED and non-LED mirrors, plus kitchen sinks, closet solutions, ceiling fans, and more. Available in various finishes and sizes. Visit shop number 6, 30 Dunrobin Avenue, Kingston 10. Call 876-755-3661 or visit our website at www.uniquelivingja.com. Don't wait to spring into style with Unique Living.
Attention Megamart Montego Bay team members. The Megamart family would like to know if you are safe and well. Please join us for an important meeting at Megamart Montego Bay on Friday, November 14, 2025 at 10 a.m. If you are a family member or friend of a Megamart Montego Bay team member, please help us in getting this message to them. Thank you and stay safe.
Good evening and welcome to Nationwide's Business Report. I'm Norige Banton. Campari Group, through its local subsidiary J. Ray and Nephew, JWN Limited, says it will be donating just over $1.5 million in hurricane relief aid to the government and non-governmental organization. In a release to the media, the company says it's committed to doing its part to help rebuild and recover alongside the affected communities. This as it continues to demonstrate a deep local connection and long-standing history of responding to major disasters in Jamaica. Managing Director of JWN, Daniel Caron, says Hurricane Melissa has left immense devastation in its wake and the situation is beyond catastrophic. Caron says now is the time to respond and ensure that those most affected have what they need to start rebuilding their lives while also making sure communities are better prepared for future storms. The Trump administration said import taxes on coffee and bananas will be lowered as part of a trade deal with 4 Latin American countries. The agreements with Argentina, Guatemala, El Salvador, and Ecuador come as U.S. President Donald Trump faces scrutiny over his handling of the economy and concerns about affordability. As part of an initial framework, a reciprocal tariff of 10% will stay on goods from Guatemala, Argentina, and El Salvador. And finally, the currency markets at the close of trading today, it cost 159 Jamaican dollars and 89 cents to buy $1. It cost 211 Jamaican dollars and 10 cents to buy £1 British pound and 107 Jamaican dollars and 20 cents to buy the Canadian dollar. That's the business report. I'm Nora Gay Banton. Good evening.
MSME operators, the NWC MSME Amnesty is a lifeline. Grab it. Apply between September 1 and November 30, 2025. Visit nwcjamaica.com. Email us at customercare@nwc.com.jm. You can also visit any commercial office or dial 888-NWC. Get a 50% debt write-off on your small commercial account if you pay all other outstanding debts or sign a payment agreement to do so in 3 months. Apply today.
Run for Rights, give for relief. Join Jamaicans for Justice at the Run for Rights 5K Run Walk, November 30, 6 a.m. sharp at the Police Officers Club, Kingston. Choose your cause: human rights, child rights, climate justice, or ending gender-based violence. Only $2,500 to enter. Medals, trophies, and more. Register now at my.raceresult.com/355144. Part proceeds in aid of hurricane relief. You can bring your essential items on race day. Every donation counts. Call 876-239-7583 for details.
It's undeniable that we should be together.
The true beauty of music is that it connects people. It carries a message. It speaks to you. It changes you. And that's exactly what we do just for you every Sunday as we take you to Urban Paradise, 9:10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Urban Paradise is our weekly musical journey that will serve up 110 glorious minutes of positive storytelling through music, mixed in with inspirational features to provoke thought and to heal the soul.
Like a dream come true, just wanna be with you.
So join me, Diane Ashton Smith, this and every Sunday, 9:10 a.m. to 11 a.m. here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. Urban Paradise, opening our hearts, connecting to others.
If it's in the public's interest, it's the nation's business during Nationwide at 5. The nation's business.
It's the weekend and the youth are taking over the airwaves. Yes, we are the new voices and faces of the Talk Up You radio show. The voice of the Jamaican youth right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
After a busy week of work and school, come and wine with Jamaica's #1 youth radio show.
We're bringing you entertainment, fun facts, and staying true to youth development and advocacy.
Catch the action each and every Saturday as we roll out buzzy segments. What say you?
Youth for chat.
Life skills.
Global Connect.
And Bust the Youth.
That's the Talk Up Youth radio show. Saturdays 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM.
Talk Up Youth, Miss Effie.
Talk Up Youth. Don't miss it.
Not mercy. This one is very classic, dedicated to all the schoolers who are taking them.
If you've ever struggled to pass an exam, then you'll know that students today are under great pressure to get good grades and secure qualification needed to move on to higher education. The problem is that too many students are struggling alone and could really benefit from connecting with hardworking teachers and other bright students in other parts of the country and the region. Join me, Dennis Brooks, this and every Friday evening from 8 to 9, with a repeat on Saturday morning from 8 to 9. For the A-Team, a study group on radio, my team of teachers, students, and experts will break down the syllabus, giving you information, tips, and past paper questions that will help you get top grades in your upcoming exams. Follow us on Facebook Live and on Twitter and be a part of the community. It's the A-Team, Fridays at 8 p.m. with a repeat at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. It's your free extra class on radio and social media. And it's right here on Nationwide 90 FM, the revolution in media.
Welcome back, Nationwide at 5, and we are in the nation's business, and we're continuing our discussion on the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa, turning our focus, of course, to protecting against diseases in the post-Melissa environment. The Health Ministry says it has engaged over 400 temporary workers for vector control interventions in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. Portfolio Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says this is in anticipation of an increase in the population of rodents and mosquitoes. He was speaking at a press briefing on Hurricane Melissa recovery at Jamaica House recently. Dr. Tufton says the temporary workers will complement close to 500 permanent staff in the effort. Meanwhile, the minister says public health inspectors are in the field examining water quality. This in an effort to prevent foodborne illnesses. The minister says officers have already condemned a fair amount of food that is meant to be refrigerated but cannot be under the circumstances.
And Dr. Tufton notes that public health officers have been deployed to assess the contamination of water and food in parishes hardest hit by Melissa. So, how can we protect ourselves from waterborne and vector-borne diseases following the passage of a hurricane? For that discussion, we're being joined by the Ministry's Director of Environmental Health. That's Michael Williams. Good evening, Mr. Williams.
Good evening, Mr. Williams. Good evening.
Good evening to the nationwide team and also to the wider Jamaica.
Happy to have you. Prof?
Thank
Yes.
you.
And Mr. Williams, and you're Mr., right? Mr. Williams, yes? Yes. Tell us about some of the kind of waterborne and vector-borne diseases, the kind of risks that usually arise after a hurricane like Melissa.
All right, thank you. So let me begin with vector-borne diseases because as we all know, there is the perennial dengue that is out there, spread by the Aedes aegypti. Then we have the Zika, we have the chikungunya. And these diseases are now endemic to Jamaica. And when we can get rid of our water holding containers, because the Aedes aegypti is domesticated, so you will find that mosquito mostly around the home environment, the office, even church. So all water holding containers will breed mosquitoes. And so after the hurricane, there was up to over 3 feet of water falling. So there is water everywhere. So we're asking householders to begin the search, do the source reduction, go into your yards, remove all water holding containers, bore a hole in the bottom of them. The garbage truck may not come for another 2 to 3 weeks. Bury what you can bury, crush what you can crush. Do not leave any receptacle for a mosquito to breed in. By doing this, we can prevent the breeding. We can also cover up ourselves. Long sleeves, long pants, use an insecticide with DEET. These are some measures we can do until the authorities have come around to do the larvicidal and the adulticidal actions, spraying for the adult mosquito. When it comes on to waterborne diseases, we are at high risk because we know, again, there is a lot of water around. In fact, water are in some places that Jamaica couldn't even imagine. And so one of the diseases that is very common in a flood situation is what we call dysentery.
Yes.
So there are two types basically. There is what we call the parasitic dysentery, and also we have the bacillary dysentery. Bacillary dysentery is caused by bacteria such as your Shigella, your Salmonella, your Campylobacter, and E. coli. When these get into your water and the water is not treated properly, you can have severe diarrhea. And dysentery is so unique in that it causes bloody diarrhea, blood and mucus in the stool, severe stomach cramps, and it can really put you down. So you have to be on the guard for this. Water can be protected and treated by boiling. And we encourage the public to boil their water. And the boiling, you start checking the time when it begins to bubble on the fire. We call it a rolling boil for at least a minute. Allow it to bubble and boil. Then you turn off the stove, allow it to cool before drinking.
But Michael Williams, what I want to ask you, if you are in a situation, for example, in the Cornwall region where you have no stove, stoves, or you don't have enough fuel, well, how else can you make sure your water is decontaminated aside from boiling?
Right. So you can use chemicals to treat your water. And as I said, you can use simple household bleach.
Yes.
We do not recommend bulk bleach because a lot of additives goes into bulk bleach. So a simple household bleach can be used. It's 2 drops of bleach to a quarter or a liter of water. If it's a gallon of water, 8 drops of bleach. If the water is a little cloudy or has a little debris in it, we recommend that you strain the water with a very clean cloth. Add the bleach, then you agitate that container very well, wait 30 minutes before drinking, and it's very effective. Another method is to use ultraviolet light. So if you're using this method, if you don't have any means of lighting a stove or making a fire, and you don't have any bleach, put the water in a clean 1 liter bottle, leave it in the sun for at least 6 hours. And ultraviolet light is very effective in destroying germs.
Yes.
Let me ask you, based on the early assessments that the ministry is doing, what are the most concerning public health threats that we face now? So we just talked about the waterborne, vector-borne. What are some of the other threats?
All right. So food safety is another area that we are very much concerned about. A lot of persons, they lost their homes, businesses lost their goods, roofs were gone, and so you may have food that is flood damaged. And that is why we say you have to be careful and stick to outlets that are certified. If you find people selling their food, let us say you have persons who are not even operators of food business, selling food and it's going at knockdown prices, stay away from it.
Like what kind of food, Mr. Will? Because what kind of food? Rice, flour, sugar?
It can be juices, drinks, you name it, canned goods. If you have to buy canned goods, and we encourage the use of canned goods because a lot of people don't have electricity, buy canned goods that have labels on them. There's no sign of bulging or denting, or the can itself is corroded, what Jamaicans call rusty, which is a sign also of water damage. Those you have to be careful and choose carefully. Other goods like rice, flour, you don't want to buy rice that is visibly moist or even wet. So you don't want to buy rice that has that clumping together, right? Or weevil infested or other insects in it. You have to look out for things like this. If there's an off odor and off color, not the usual color, not the usual odor of the products that you normally buy, do not buy it. When buying meat, fish, be very, very, very vigilant. Again, stick to the outlets that are certified by the Ministry of Health. There are many persons who would have lost their electricity.
Yes.
And all kinds of things are out there for sale. Stick to your certified outlets and be very wise when you're buying. So water safety, food safety, and the vector-borne diseases, these are the common threats that are out there now. And we want the public to be vigilant.
So what I hear you saying, Mr. Williams, is if I hear somebody selling a $500 box, wouldn't I get 3 pieces of meat, a whole heap of rice, enough vegetable? Be skeptical.
Don't buy it.
Be skeptical. Run.
But you know, one of the things, though, Ricardo and Mr. Williams, I am a survivor of Hurricane Gilbert. I like to put it that way. A lot of Jamaicans are. And in the aftermath of Gilbert, because of the challenges we had with electricity and the storage of certain types of food, we were unable and unwilling to buy cooked food and boxed food anywhere at all. We lived on canned food. And, you know, obviously in Jamaica, dry food for a very long time, except what we could certify and do and cook at home, because of the same concerns that people had as to the progeny of the meat, of the progeny of the food that you're putting down your throat. So I think this is what you're suggesting as well, Mr. Williams, that people have to be careful in this post-Melissa environment.
Yeah.
In fact, we it was reported that millions of chickens drowned.
Yes.
There were many oxen that, they just died. So we know we have people around that are unscrupulous. And that is why we said be very careful how you purchase, where you purchase, and what you purchase.
Yeah. On that point, Mr. Williams, are there any parishes so far that are showing high levels of either water or food contamination?
Well, Ricardo, we have about 600 public health inspectors island-wide, and we are out in full force. I can tell you that we have condemned over 20,000 pounds of food, and this includes all kinds of food. And on top of that, the herd owners, the farms, have called us in, and we were instrumental in assisting in the condemnation and giving instruction, really, the burial of several carcasses, goats, pigs, you name them, cows. And so a lot has been taking place that the public do not know. But we are out there safeguarding public health.
But so Mr. Williams, you talked about the carcasses, and this is important because we have a street food culture in Jamaica.
Yes.
And, we've been making jokes about it in the newsroom that some people might just, salt down the food. How do I know? I mean, if I have not seen the raw meat,
the progeny,
right,
where it's coming from.
And it's cooked and presented. Yes. Is there anything I can look for? I mean, apart from the obvious smell or, discoloration, how do I know? Or do I just stop eating street food now and just make sure I go to the supermarket, pick up my stuff in the package, carry it home, cook it myself, and eat it?
Well, Ricardo, I can tell you this. Once spoilage has set in, no matter how you season that chicken or that fish,
can't mask it.
Once it begins to thaw, the odor, the spoilage organisms have characteristic odor.
Yes.
Putrefaction is going forward. And you cannot mask the odor. Once it begins to cook, again, the odor is there, some of odor. And once you taste that, you know that this is not fresh meat or fresh fish.
So Jamaicans have a term, they say that the meat is the touch. No, but we have to break it down. So that's the terminology a lot of Jamaicans will use. And so the meat, so you have to be, because these, you're saying, Mr. Williams, Michael Williams, from the Ministry of Health, that these are some of the kinds of challenges that can then result in individuals becoming ill because of the contamination with the foods that they are eating.
Yes.
Yes.
And are there any particular food or storage practices residents should avoid until water and electricity are fully restored? Anything that we used to do that you'd say probably hold off on that until we have full restoration?
Definitely, Ricardo. So, persons who have not received their electricity, several areas, several parishes, buy sparingly, especially your foods that are high protein foods, your perishable foods. So don't, if normally, some persons are monthly paid and they will buy their grocery at the month end and it serves for the entire month. Buy sparingly. Go every 3 days or so. And buy a small package of fish, a small package of what can be used up in a day or two. Stick to canned products. Right? Eat a lot of stuff that doesn't require any form of refrigeration because that's a challenge right now. And, we just have to tough it out until things improve.
Yeah.
So if someone feels or suspects that they or a family member have eaten contaminated food or, drank some water that is contaminated, are there any steps that you can suggest for them to take? First aid steps or otherwise?
Well, again, we're talking about what the person consumed and how serious are the signs and symptoms. But a lot of these contamination incidents, they will come with vomiting, diarrhea, weakness, nausea, stomach pain, you name it. We always recommend to people, that if it's not something that is serious, you rehydrate, because you can lose your fluids to the point where it can become something more serious. So rehydrate. Ginger is a good home remedy, and your good old peppermint. But if you're vomiting and blood in the stool, you need medical attention. This is not something you're going to play around with. And dysentery is one of those waterborne, foodborne that carries bloody stool, because the parasites or the germ irritates the lining of the intestine to the point where you have mucus and blood in the stool. And it can be fatal, especially to young children and the elderly and those living with comorbidities. So seek medical attention if it is that kind of illness. If it's mild, rehydrate, use a ginger, use a peppermint, and get some bed rest.
And if I happen to know, or someone listening happens to know a location, someone who they think may be peddling in unsafe practices, what should they do? Do they call the police? Do they call you at the Ministry of Health? What do they do?
They can call the police, yes, but we have 13 health departments island-wide. They can call the health department or visit the health department and make a report. Public health inspectors will go and investigate and will seize and condemn and do what we have to do, and even prosecute.
Yeah. And those laws are stringent enough, strong enough to act as deterrents.
Especially in these times, Ricardo.
Yeah. All right. Michael Williams is the Director of Environmental Health in the Ministry of Health. Thank you so much for your time and the knowledge. I appreciate it as always.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Have a good one. So, you hear that? Keep safe. Avoid if it too cheap and it look too good.
Or if it smells off.
Low it.
A little touch food there.
Low it.
Yes, because my mother used to say, it's what goes down in your mouth,
Yeah.
But so you have to be careful about that, because we really are trying to also keep healthy in this post-Melissa environment with all the challenges that people are facing, Ricardo.
Yes. Absolutely important.
Indeed.
We're going to go for the break. And after the break, we're going to take you to... should we cancel Christmas parties?
Yes.
That's where we're going to go.
That is a big talk
Should
right now.
we cancel Christmas parties in light of what Jamaica is dealing with? After the break.
The Pink Run, a corporate wellness challenge, encourages physical activity, healthy eating, and age-appropriate health checks. Remember, early detection saves lives. The time by the Ministry of Health and Wellness is
7 p.m.
Exciting news! The Design Studio Nationwide 90 FM just got a whole lot bigger. Join us this and every Saturday now from 1 to 3 p.m. for an exclusive show that elevates your home, mind, and soul. Discover the latest interior design trends to create your dream sanctuary. Unlock your true potential with personal growth strategies. Nourish your body and spirit with expert wellness tips. Don't miss out on the inspiration you need to live your best life. Tune in to the Design Studio this and every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. and take the first step towards a more fulfilling you.
Make me sweat, make me harder.
They've lost homes.
Everything is gone. Have no house, have nothing.
They've lost power.
No water, no food, no light, no bed. Jamaican people need desperate help.
Some haven't heard a familiar voice in days.
The last thing I said to my sister, please be safe. And that was the last time.
For others, hope is starting to ebb. But together, we are rebuilding Jamaica, one parish at a time.
We have to try. We have to try. Can't give up.
Join Nationwide 90 FM from November 21 to December 19, every Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. as we broadcast live from Westmoreland, St. James, Trelawney, Hanover, and St. Elizabeth, helping families and communities rebuild after Hurricane Melissa.
And you can help too.
Bring your donations, non-perishable food, water, hygiene products, lighting, or recovery supplies to our office at 14 Ocean Boulevard, the Digital Building, downtown Kingston.
Let's show the true strength of our nation: unity, compassion, and care. Together, we can rebuild lives and restore hope. Nationwide 90 FM, the revolution in media.
Jah, give us strength. Oh, never let I fail.
Not a mercy. This one is very classic, dedicated to all the schoolers who are taking it.
If you've ever struggled to pass an exam, then you'll know that students today are under great pressure to get good grades and secure qualification needed to move on to higher education. The problem is that too many students are struggling alone and could really benefit from connecting with hardworking teachers and other bright students in other parts of the country and the region. Join me, Dennis Brooks, this and every Friday evening from 8 to 9, with a repeat on Saturday morning from 8 to 9. For the A-Team, a study group on radio, my team of teachers, students, and experts will break down the syllabus, giving you information, tips, and past paper questions that will help you get top grades in your upcoming exams. Follow us on Facebook Live and on Twitter and be a part of the community. It's the A-Team. Fridays at 8 p.m. with a repeat at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. It's your free extra class on radio and social media. And it's right here on Nationwide 90 FM, the revolution in media.
Welcome back, Nationwide at 5. And now we are in our final segment. We're going to be talking about canceling Christmas parties. Should we cancel Christmas parties? Several users of popular social media site X, formerly Twitter, have been suggesting that Jamaicans on the eastern end of the island should cancel or downscale plans for Christmas this year. This in light of the humanitarian crisis unfolding in the western end of the island following the passage of Hurricane Melissa. What implications would that have for the entertainment industry? And so for that discussion, we are being joined by cultural analyst and entrepreneur Clyde McKenzie, and we should be later joined by, I think, another person from the entertainment industry. So we'll, of course, start with Clyde McKenzie. Good evening, Clyde. Welcome to the program. I'm your usual prof.
Good evening.
Good to hear you, Clyde. And, of course, my co-host Ricardo Brooks is here with us.
Good evening, Clyde.
Good evening. First of all, good evening, Prof. I haven't.
And, it's Hopeful Fridays, Let me tell you, Clyde, we're Hopeful Fridays, and we want to talk about this canceling Christmas conversation. It's taking up some trending in a lot of ways on social media. So
good evening, Ricardo, too. Yes.
So what are your thoughts, Clyde, on those kind of calls online to cancel? What are your thoughts, though, as someone who is steeped in the entertainment industry for quite some time, several decades? What are your thoughts, Clyde McKenzie, on those calls online to cancel Christmas parties in Middlesex and Surrey in particular because of the challenges that the Cornwall region has been facing post-Melissa?
Well, there might be some logistical challenges that people might face in terms of hosting events in certain sections of the country.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think we should have this catch-all kind of call for the cancellation of events or the non-staging of events in these areas. If it is possible, I think it should go ahead. Because the problem is we're talking about trying to energize these regions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've gone through a lot. But what we want is for these people to rebound as quickly as possible. Yes, they're going to be concerned about, the state of the region in terms of the conditions, in terms of health and all of that, because, there's a possibility of airborne, waterborne, or those kinds of diseases.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, one of the things you want is economic activity in these regions. You want these regions to come back on track as far as commerce is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Because charity is not going to help these places. They need to get back on track. And so for me, whatever can be done to resuscitate, rehabilitate these regions should be done. Now, I mean, if it is that people see the possibility of staging events or putting on anything that might be able to generate some revenue, I mean, I'm for that, you know, as long as logistically they can work. I'm for that. I mean, now you know that much of the infrastructure in terms of venues has been damaged.
Mm-hmm.
We know that places like the police stations and so on, many of them have been damaged. And you're going to need the backup and the support of the police for that kind of activity.
But Clyde, and let me interject though. It sounds as if you're focusing on the areas that have been damaged by Hurricane Melissa. The call is for people, for example, in Kingston and St. Andrew and St. Catherine, who have faced little to no damage, to cancel Christmas and not have any, let me say this, not have any excess parties or parties at all, as a kind of moral responsibility to ensure that, you know, our family members, brothers and sisters, Jamaicans in the western side of the island are not disadvantaged by the excesses, and also that the resources that are to be put into these Christmas parties and celebrations should all be funneled across to these damaged areas. That's the sentiment. That's really how the sentiment is being thrown out. Yes.
No, well, listen. My thing is that we should have our usual activities, fundraising. We should have our usual activities, celebratory. I mean, I don't think we should go into sackcloth and ashes. I mean, yes, we know that a catastrophe hit, and we have been mourning, but at the same time, we have to be able to balance things out. The fact is that business, life has to go on. And what we have to do is we have to make sure that we are able to conduct activities which will work for the economy and for the people in those areas. If we start shut down activities, and especially in areas that are supposed to be buoyant, then what is going to happen down in those regions which have been badly affected? So if the call is to curtail activities on this side, I totally disagree.
So for in a lot of ways, then the kind of larger cultural tensions of national unity, you know, the issues around national unity, the kind of cultural tensions that usually exist in societies like ours. Do you see this conversation reflecting any of these larger cultural conversations or these kind of tensions that we normally have around national unity in times of disaster? How do you see it?
Well, national unity.
Yes.
I see this as something that is essential if we're going to build back. We can't be a divided nation and we build to capacity. So we have to be mindful of the fact that whatever differences we have, politically, socially, whatever, we need to come together, because trust is a central part of this exercise. And if we are going to drift apart, then we're not going to achieve the objective of rebuilding. We must have trust that when people say, look, this has been spent, this is what is needed, everybody understands so that they can commit and do what is necessary. So for me, the conversation about unity is essential. You can't have people, and this is not to say that you're not going to have criticism or you're not going to have differences of opinion, but people should understand that the national cause should be paramount at this time. And that requires great leadership.
So then, Clyde Mackenzie, could scaling down the Christmas activities and the excesses be seen in a kind of backhanded way as being in solidarity with the Cornwall region, the people in the West who have been devastated by Hurricane Melissa? So scaling down the activities in the East, could that be seen as a sign of solidarity with those in the West who have been devastated by Hurricane Melissa?
I suppose, in one sense, one could argue that they want something more subdued to reflect what you consider to be the mood of the West. But there's other thought to say. I mean, why not try to get many of these people from that region to come into Kingston and to celebrate and to have fun and to forget some of the problems that they have, and also maybe to earn something.
Yes.
In this region to deal with what they have back at home. There are a number of possibilities here. I don't think, scaling back is not going to be the answer to this. What we want is economic vibrancy right now, because that is what is going to pay for all the problems that we're having. Tourism is going to be badly affected. There's a lot of fallout in the agricultural sector. How do we compensate for those losses in terms of economic activity? We have to be more dynamic in the areas that are still not damaged. We can't slow it down.
And in a lot of ways, Jamaica has a cultural and historical Christmas economy that in people's parties and the gatherings and the celebrations and the food builds into a very specific ecosystem around this time of the year that many persons are plugged into. So tell us a little bit about the entertainment aspect of this Christmas ecosystem, Clyde Mackenzie, from your own experience. What are some of the things and the areas that would be impacted if we scale down and cut down Christmas totally?
Well, it depends on the specifics, the recommendations. But for me, shows, for example, just stage shows, they are part of that ecosystem that you speak. Now, you have people from the gig economy who they earn during that period. Sometimes that will help them through the slow parts of the year. That's how many people survive from the activities during the Christmas season. But you don't want to mess with those things. You want to keep them alive, keep them functioning. And so that will be able to deal with some of the challenges in terms of displacement that we have elsewhere. You can't, these shows, these parties, all of these are transactions in the economy. And
yes, I'm not hearing Clyde Mackenzie. Clyde? And I'm told we are now being joined by CEO of Downstone Records, Joe Bogdanovich. Hi, Joe. Good evening. Welcome to the program.
Yes, I'm just getting on now.
Yes, and we lost Clyde Mackenzie, but we are talking about the suggestions or the talk on X, formerly Twitter, about cancelling Christmas in this half of 2/3 of the country that has not been badly affected by Hurricane Melissa or affected at all, in solidarity with people in the western end of the island who have been devastated. And so, as someone who is very big in the entertainment industry in Jamaica, last year you put on major events during the end of the year as well. Joe Bogdanovich, what are your thoughts on this call to cancel Christmas celebrations or scale them down significantly in solidarity with those in the affected areas?
Well, to cancel Christmas and the spirit of Christmas seems like something that an oxymoron might want to do. You can't. Jamaica is such a upbeat place during the holiday, and yes, it's a sad time. And but to say, you shouldn't try to feel the spirit of giving, is something that what Christmas is all about. So I come from a lot of places, and I don't understand why anyone would want to stop anybody from anything that's positive.
And I think Clyde McKenzie has joined us back. Clyde, Joe Bogdanovich has joined us, so we are giving him an opportunity to express. Yes.
Yeah.
And so in a lot of ways, Joe, what strategies then can the entertainment industry use to balance the perceived need or the need for some empathy, but also keep the traditions of Christmas alive and the economics of it, because a lot of persons earn a lot. What can the entertainment industry use to balance these things, empathy, tradition, and the economics?
I think it's simple. Do more with less. You know, do more with less and make it fashionable. You know,
share more.
Do more with less. You just have to get more creative. That's what you got to do. Start a new trend. You know, new trends come all the time. New ones, you know.
So we're going to cancel all the stage shows for Christmas?
Who's gonna cancel all the stage shows for Christmas? Of course you have to have less, because there's not a lot of money around, and what we need to survive and get some potatoes on our plates. But it doesn't mean you cannot be kind to people. It doesn't mean you have to eradicate kindness. You know, you know, it's about love. It's about your neighbors. It's about your family. It's about giving thanks for life and all of that Jamaica knows so much about.
So, Ricardo?
And so do I hear you saying that by having those parties, we'd be contributing to that sense of national upliftment and unity?
Are you talking to me?
Yes,
Joe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Say it again, please. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying, do I hear you saying that if we have those parties in this side of the island, we'd be contributing to that national sense of upliftment?
Yes. You know, and besides parties and music, you know, music is big. It's powerful. Entertainment's a very important thing, and I see that the government's starting to recognize that. And that's important to bring the spirits up. But you know, you can't just overspend, and you know, you have to work within your means, and really do something. Do more with less, but give a lot.
Yeah.
Give a lot, indeed. So Clyde McKenzie, how would widespread scaling down, because Joe is saying do more with less, how would widespread scaling down of Christmas events impact people like the promoters, the artists, the vendors, and the wider entertainment industry? How will it impact on them?
As I said, I believe that we should do as much as we can within the context. I'm not in favor of this whole scaling back. I mean, because I think what we should be doing is sharing more from what we have. So if we're having events, we can be considerate of those people who might be in need and making sure that something goes to them. But to say, well, you know, you're just going to sit on your hands and you're going to be mourning and sackcloth and ashes, I'm not in favor of that. I believe that people should go about their business, but just be, I mean, what Joe is saying, I agree with him. I mean, and that was what technically I was saying before, that what you want is to do what you're doing in the main, do it with some respect, do it with some consideration, but make sure that what you are doing is in the interest of all. You know, so if we're doing well in the East, make sure that the people in the West are benefiting in some measure. But if we shut down things in the East because we are in solidarity and mourning with the West, then everything is going to come to a standstill. It's going to come to a halt. So we have to keep things going this side. but at the same time, be respectful and be understanding of, all the needs and the concerns, but making sure that there are resources being generated to assist our brothers and sisters in the West.
So that generation of resources, Clyde, you're hinting at it. Joe Bogdanovich, Clyde McKenzie, does it sound like you're saying that the event could be repurposed into some kind of fundraising or relief support initiatives without losing the festive appeal that is natural for Jamaicans at Christmas?
I think that you can't make it. This is not complicated.
Mm-hmm.
You have to work within your means. You have to really be thinking about your community, the people that you're around, and being able. You got to give a lot of love to those and to everyone. A lot more kindness and sensitivity and love. It's not how big your present is. It's the thought behind it.
Mm-hmm.
It's giving. It's sensitivity. People are hurting out there, yes. And by the way, when you see it all in this island, when you go to all these places that are just unbelievably hit hard by this storm, you feel bad. You feel bad, and you feel the emptiness. You see it in their faces. You see it everywhere, but you can't sit down and cry. You've got to rise up, and Jamaicans are strong. They're very strong. So I think that from what I see in terms of the hotels and how to bring more people here to Jamaica, and I think that Minister Bartlett said it right. What you can do is come and visit us. I thought that was a brilliant statement and very easy to understand. Yes, sir. Because people love Jamaican. They like the vibe. They like the sense of humor. They like the humanity, the humility. Jamaicans are special. They're champions. My goodness, you have a history of championship, brilliance, and people come for that.
And they come for the stage shows and the parties and those other entertainment activities as well. Indeed, so
yes, they come for all of that.
Yes,
but they come for the people. They're at the parties. Jamaican music, lifestyle.
So,
Teresa's here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's here to feel the vibe.
Yes,
they love it.
So looking ahead then, Joe Bogdanovich and Clyde McKenzie, today is the 14th of November. Christmas is just about 5 or 6 weeks ahead of us. How do you expect the next few weeks to unfold with entertainment businesses navigating this period and then moving forward to looking into the season that comes after the reggae month, the carnival season in the early parts of next year? How do you expect it to unfold in this post-Melissa environment? What do you see?
To be honest, there is going to be a slowdown because, as Joe said, money has been taken out of the economy. People don't have as much money as they used to have. So there'll be that slowing down. But the thing is, one of the important things for us to do is to make sure we give the impression that we're still open for business. We can't give the impression that as a result of Melissa, Jamaica is on the total lockdown, because that would be counterproductive. So it's a delicate balance. We have to ensure that, we give due respect to the magnitude of the catastrophe. But at the same time, we have to make sure that we send signals to the world that we're still open for business. We must make sure people understand that this was really a significant kind of weather event, but at the same time, this country is still open for business.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Clyde McKenzie, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. We also had with us Joe Bogdanovich, the CEO of Down Sound Records. Clyde McKenzie, of course, a cultural analyst and entrepreneur. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Clyde. Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
We're going to take a break now, and when we come back, we'll take your calls. 630-937-124, 618-6730.
Jamaica's poverty rate has dropped from 16.7% to 8.2%. As the government's economic program begins to pay off, our country is heading towards sustained growth. We are building Jamaica. The time by the office of the Prime Minister is
7:28 p.m.
Attention Megamart Montego Bay team members. The Megamart family would like to know if you are safe and well. Please join us for an important meeting at Megamart Montego Bay on Friday, November 14, 2025 at 10 a.m. If you are a family member or friend of a Megamart Montego Bay team member, please help us in getting this message to them. Thank you and stay safe.
Anonymous, this one is very classic, dedicated to all the schoolers who are taking it.
If you've ever struggled to pass an exam, then you'll know that students today are under great pressure to get good grades and secure qualification needed to move on to higher education. The problem is that too many students are struggling alone and could really benefit from connecting with hardworking teachers and other bright students in other parts of the country and the region. Join me, Dennis Brooks, this and every Friday evening from 8 to 9, with a repeat on Saturday morning from 8 to 9. For the A-Team, a study group on radio, my team of teachers, students, and experts will break down the syllabus, giving you information, tips, and past paper questions that will help you get top grades in your upcoming exams. Follow us on Facebook Live and on Twitter and be a part of the community. It's the A-Team. Fridays at 8 p.m. with a repeat at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. It's your free extra class on radio and social media. And it's right here on Nationwide 90 FM, the revolution in media.
Everything loud and wicked every Saturday 3 to 5 p.m. with Outside with Pepita. Loan vibes, loan laughs, and loan entertainment. Come on the road with me. Because when we say Outside with Pepita, we're there all over Jamaica. Anyway, check them out. We're there. We're in on the business. Stay tuned in for prizes, surprises, giveaways, guest artists, and enough more. But hold on there. We forget to big up my DJ. DJ Jerome, the shell boss, I'm gonna make it bust to pew pew with the maddest, baddest, and latest tunes. So look out for Outside with Pepita. We might be coming to a town near you. You heard it here first. Outside with Pepita, Saturdays 3 to 5 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM. The new revolution in media. Jamaica, lock it in and don't miss a thing.
Welcome back, Nationwide at 5, and we are taking your calls. It's 7:30 p.m. in the afternoon, evening here in Kingston, Jamaica. Omalo, good evening. How are you?
Yeah, good evening, Professor.
How are you doing?
Good evening, Ricardo.
Yes.
Yeah, Ricardo, I don't know if I'm looking too deep in this thing.
Ricardo, you're talking to me alone for 5 minutes.
Oh, Ricardo.
Ricardo is taking a quick break. He'll be right back, yes.
Okay, Prof. I don't know if I'm looking into this thing too deep, yeah? But I would ask for your assistance. Most of the time when I hear these NGOs around town would come out and make a statement, I don't think they think about the psychological effect on the mind of the people before they really make their announcement.
You're talking about a specific thing? What specific thing?
I'm going to use this specific thing. When it comes on to government, I'll say, for instance, the hurricane relief coming into Jamaica. And they're talking about we need an oversight of the government with the spending and how things are being distributed and stuff. And I'm having a problem with that because we have institutions that are there to hold the government accountable when these institutions goes in and do their auditing. The psychological effect that they are sending out to the general public is that we cannot trust our government, and we have to have somebody over them all the time watching them, or else things will not go the way it's supposed to go. If you're sending out this message and the mistrust in government all the time, how is it that we are going to build a democracy when trust is a part and the foundation of building the democracy?
We already have a democracy, you know. You mean maybe strengthen the democracy? We already have.
Oh, yes, definitely. Strengthening the democracy, because the democracy needs to be strengthened.
And, you know, this is because it's a democratic society. Groups can make calls for various things, you know, in different environments, like this post-Melissa environment. And I suppose individuals as well as our leaders are free to take or not, steps that are suggested and put them into action. It's actually a choice, because this is a democratic society, and as you rightfully say, Omalo, we have various institutions that have been ratified by the people of this country, that have been put in place to ensure that there is some oversight and some, level of visibility over what happens in the government structures at the highest level of our country. So
this is what I'm going to do then, Professor. I'm going to use your program to ask these people to think about the psychological effect on the minds of the people when they are coming out to say something. It's not just pronouncement, but in order for us to be a democracy in a nation is built not just by the physicalness, but by the psychological development of the people and what the people perceive and how the people see things. And coming out to make pronouncement that we always have to have somebody watching the government, or the government will go astray. It don't send the right message in our development.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for the point, Omalo. Have a good evening. Yes, indeed. Hi, Bobby. Good evening. Bobby, we have you online. Hi, Bobby. Good evening. Ricardo is here with us. Good evening.
Yes, good evening, Prof. Ricardo.
Good evening.
Good evening. Apparently, you stepped outside a while ago to take a sip of the Holy Spirit.
Why did you say that?
Because I hear that you just step outside for 5 minutes, so I figure you must go outside and take a sip of the Holy Spirit to revive the soul and come back inside.
I see. What's on your mind?
Yes. I fully endorse what Omalo said a short while ago, but you see, what I really look into, just to add something to it, when the other government is in office, you don't hear no civil society or anybody come and call for any oversight, I think some of these people are calling for oversight, especially
is that true though, Bobby?
I'm trying to think back, because I don't think that's true, Bobby.
I remember instances where that happened.
Yes.
I remember, for example, the Partnership Council, there was a market scandal, the Spalding market scandal. And
I remember that too.
Right, and the partnership refused to have meetings at Jamaica House. I recall that.
Yes.
And look here, and remember in that time, that was just an idea talk, But when anytime Mr. Holness is the Prime Minister and is in office, every little thing over they're calling for.
I feel like you also have to remember that he's been in office now for a decade.
Right, yeah.
So when you say when the other government were it's been a decade now. So how much of what happened between 2011 and 2016 in terms of civil society advocacy do you actually remember?
Well,
yeah, your experience probably now is going to be colored, and I use that word advisedly, by the fact that this government has been in office for a long time.
10 years is
Well,
a long time, but I mean, I remember there was a time the PNP was in power for 18 years.
Right.
So again,
and the same thing happened.
and
People
those things
started
happened,
to
yes. So
criticize and come. I think it's a consequence of a long incumbency.
yes, people begin to start trying to pick it. And remember, Bobby, as I said to Amalo, this is a democratic society. All views are going to contend, and so people can call and people can say things because the society allows the opportunity for them to do that. So that is also an important part of a democracy.
Well, what I really called to talk about, I hear the conversation early on about, Christmas and, and those people there, and our brothers and sisters, I should say, down in the western part of the country. But I want to add my little piece to it. I don't think we here in this side of the country should really, celebrate Christmas with all our fanfares and things, while our brothers and sisters down there in the West, need the help. I think what we here in this side of the country are going to use to celebrate Christmas, we should help the government channel everything down there for them, because trust me, it is terrible, they have no roof, and I know rainfall down there sometime, as what I hear, so what's his name again? Sandre said that his grandmother is her house top gone and rain spoil up things in the house and so on. Some of them is tarpaulin them have to have over their rooftop and thing. So I think this Christmas we shouldn't be talking about celebrating Christmas. Let us focus on our brothers and sisters down that side, right? Because even nationwide have an advertisement going on where people can bring things, come at the station to go down there. And when I hear a part in the advertisement said that some of them, it's the last time they hear certain voices, and I hear the lady there crying. And I have to turn off the radio. I break down. I cannot take to hear that advertisement at all, because I feel it.
So Bobby, like what the ad touch you, you're going to drop off anything down at 14 Ocean Boulevard because the ad touch you, because the team is preparing a lot of supplies have been dropped off. We want to thank all the people who have been dropping off. So drop something off.
Well, actually, I don't drop it at Nationwide. I actually send down things already. Right, yes. There's a group of us, we are sending down things, and we are going to keep on sending and things. So for me to reach that side, but it would be very difficult.
But bless you none, because I know a lot of people are doing in their community groups, in their friend groups, in their work groups, just different groups in their, different groups that they are part of are helping in their own way. So you say we must cancel Christmas?
Yes,
I do agree with you. We need the healing and the upliftment. As I'm going to stand with Clyde McKenzie. I'm not putting on sackcloth and ashes. I'll put on my little red dress, and I'll go and collect stuff on behalf of Sendon, and probably drink some sorrel on the back end and eat a piece of cake. And play my Christmas carols. I'm still going to play my Christmas carols. The depression cannot be widespread.
One last thing I would like to ask you. How you would feel, when you have your nice Christmas dinner eating, and when you remember your brother and
we're going to send that, but remember, that's what we are talking about, is about the spirit of sharing. We've got to be sharing with everyone that we can share with, sending and stuff. So remember, it's not about you one eating Christmas dinner over there and drinking everything. You're going to share with the people in the Cornwall region as much as you can. We have been doing that from the beginning, from the day after the hurricane, the 2 days after, and we will continue to do that. But in the meantime, we cannot all run down in depression, because we don't want the country to come to a standstill. That's what we're trying to avoid.
Okay, then I agree too.
Yes.
Okay, then you're
all right.
You would enjoy your stuff.
And take care of yourself. Have a good weekend.
All right, Bobby.
All right, Bobby. Charlie, good evening. Good evening, Charlie.
Good evening, Mom. How are you doing?
I am very well. You?
No, it's fine. And you, thanks. I'm just hoping for the best for the country.
Yes.
I'm saying to you, for your topic, there say it wouldn't be possible to regret the giving not for the purpose of to say Christmas, but for knowing, having the spirit of what to give and to receive, like on Christmas, like what them call the Christmas, Columbus birthday,
Thanksgiving.
Even in Thanksgiving, like coming up to Christmas, you have people where, like more like from Portmore, where them can take a trip and go over Santa Cruz or St. Elizabeth or Mandeville, whichever town them feel necessary to donate something or to give during the process, not only the 25th of December, but like before the 25th of December. So,
yes,
you have to comfort other people in a struggle, because I myself just gave birth, Yeah, because the thing was, the same thing, it tried to climb Blue Mountain Peak again, but it couldn't, and it went that way, but it came back around.
What you mean when the eye pass, the other part come around and catch you?
Right. So it was very destructive for us, and almost take us a year to revive back.
Yes.
But under the fellow leadership and things, you count the blessing and know say even Bulga necessary.
Bulga good something, I remember going to primary school and Bulga, Ricardo ever eat Bulga? Bulga nice and the porridge is nice. Very nutritious.
Very nutritious.
Very nutritious. People pretend like it's poor food. Bulga is very nutritious. Them sell it in the supermarket. I'm going to bring some for Ricardo. But the point you make though, like you're saying that people from this side, because I have some friends who are planning like a Christmas treat. You're going to do a little treat, go down and carry things for the people down. Essentially, have a treat for the children, carry little presents. Because people want to do things like that, but we don't want to cancel the whole of that. The holiday season, whatever you celebrate it as, Jamaica like a holiday season. We want to keep the spirits up with it. You know that thing, and help
because
out.
you don't have partnership with Columbus already, so
yes,
like some people talking nonsense about like setting up JCF or JBF to prosecute a minister. Which is impossible for while a minister is in power for the JCF or the JDF to get access to granted to do them thing there. So that's why we really need an oversight body, which the opposition is really an oversight body, not in terms of to say criminalizing the oversight body, but to bring our things to on paper.
Yes, you're right. That when they write up the Constitution, the opposition write with a capital O in it, because they wanted them to like you're saying, balance out. It was supposed to balance everything. Yes. It's true you're talking, but yes.
So that's the topic. I'm glad to get the opportunity to talk one-on-one with the Iron thing.
Respect.
And you know Mr. Brooks and
Mr. Brooks beside me. Mr. Brooks, don't make me come over. Mr. Brooks, let me come across.
Blessings, Charlie.
Mr. Brooks right there now. Mr. Brooks, big up. Heal up, Charlie. Respect, Charlie. Respect and blessings, Charlie. Good to hear from you. Yeah? All the faith, my brother. Good to hear from you. All right, who done it? Good evening, who done it? Ricardo, you.
Good evening.
Who done it? Ricardo, who done it? Call to talk to you.
Yes. Oh, you know that.
We don't know what.
Talk to you too.
Yes, my talk. Yes.
First thing before, good evening, listeners and YouTubers, and Professor Ope and my friend Ricardo.
Good evening.
Yeah, Miss Ope, Professor Ope, can I ask you a question? My son, a little personal. Are you related to Alan Ope, also known as Mutabaruka?
We claim each other as cousins. We claim, because the surname Hope is not a very common one. Okay. So we claim each other as cousins. Yeah, man, Alan Muta is my, close, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The matter regarding as for you, we have some Christian heads of church, etc., But I noticed that Rasta missing. No representative. Did you ask any of them to partake in the discussion?
I'm not sure. Our producer, Dana, would have dealt with the production of that segment. You wanted to hear from a Rastafari elder?
We should hear from them too, because they are also part of the, I wouldn't say a Christian society, but they are also a part of the faith, you know?
The religious aspect, religious worldviews.
They into who they perceive God or Jesus to be, but they are also a part of, you know, of it. But the point I want to make is that did God allow the Europeans to capture us? And actually did nothing while all of that atrocity was happening to us. What do you think?
That's a question for the theologians.
I didn't hear the question.
Did God allow the Europeans to capture us and do all of that to us? You know, put us through the Middle Passage and slavery.
You say if God allowed it?
Yeah, that's a question.
I mean, well, if you believe in God, he obviously had to allow it. It happened.
The theologians are the best people to answer those questions, because once you bring the conversation about God and evil, God.
No, I'm saying once you believe in God, the logical answer to the question is that yes, he allowed it. It happened.
Allowed.
But it happened. And if they say that God is the master of the universe and he knows all things and he controls and directs all things, then the answer to that is yes. But then it depends on what you believe.
Yeah. So therefore, it would be safe to say, or correct to say, that he allowed Melissa to come on our shore as well.
The permissive nature and permissive will of God. Again, the caveat, depending on what you believe. There are people who will tell you that Melissa was an act of nature.
And that's
the end of it. Right.
But then other people argue that nature is God controls nature.
So it just depends on what you believe. But where are you going with this? Who done it?
Yes, who done it? Let's go.
Well, I was just looking at the African were the first to gain civilization, right? And while the Europeans were still living in caves and a lot of things was happening, and we were on a part of prosperity, and suddenly slavery came, and person have it to say that it was some sort of disobedience. We begin to behave in a certain manner that God was not happy with us and all of that. And if you go to, I think from Kings go down, you will saw in the Bible there where the behavior becomes out of touch with God. When it moved down from David's son going all the way down to Solomon, there were some things happen where brothers were having intimacy with their own sisters. There was a lot of things happening.
Who done it? Where are you going with this?
Because I tell you now, we need a theologian, because who done it is having a theological discussion.
What's the point you're trying to make?
You're not aware of that.
What is the point? What's the point you're trying to make by going down this far?
No, I'm going down this far now because I heard the theologian speak about the things that happened to us, and did God allow it or didn't he not? You understand? So I'm just trying to put a perspective as to how certain things would have happened to us. Is it true disobedience? Is it true God really want to discipline some of us for misbehavior and all of that? So I'm trying to unravel that in my perspective. I don't know how you see it, Ricardo, as someone who is also a Christian from the Roman Catholic faith, which I don't really prescribe to, because I don't agree with the Roman Catholic, because they play a critical role in slavery and all of that. But every man have a choice, as to who he want to, which church he wants to be a part of. I am with power faith.
Right. So Melissa was an act of nature. That's my response to you. All right.
I tend to agree with that. But you have a good weekend, guys.
All right. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself. Yes. All right.
Who's next?
And
Papa
Nana. Good evening, Papa Nana. How you do?
Perfection. How you do?
I am very good. We're good out here.
What's going on, Papa?
You know, they are master, you're the most expect them most have to talk to Professor Man and once there is life, there is hope.
Good. When Mama cook
When
tonight?
Mama, yes. Well, they just ask you about Mama, how she do, yes.
You know, she give me one hell of a bammy and some chicken liver.
Nice.
Oh, nice man.
Bammy and chicken liver, nice. It pepper?
Then we call you know must know pepper feel, man.
That is it.
Wow.
That is it. So you wax it off and your belly full, you know.
And you know, Bam make your belly full, you know, Bam full of your belly.
She of course me so have a tendency anytime me done here, me go sleep. So, you know, yeah.
So you have to talk with us.
You drop asleep at work.
Thank you, sir. But me want to say something quick too.
Yes.
Me want to change up the thing a little.
Yes.
Don't keep up between both of you, you know. But you don't believe that with what is going on, you know, we should have a real service to what is going on, you know. The country would have built back quicker if we have a real service. Because look at the road block that we cannot access goods to people.
Yeah, you know, Papa Nana, you mentioned real service, but I would support some kind of public transit system, because one of the problems I have in a Papa Nana with Kingston is traffic.
Yes.
If you tell it honest to God truth, Papa Nana, I think it has start affect me mentally.
It's affecting no, Ricardo.
It has stressed me out.
Mentally. All of us. No.
It has stressed me out, Papa Nana, so I agree with you.
Papa Nana and Ricardo, remember the trains used to run when I was going to high school, we used to take the train from Linstead to Spanish Town. The trains would run and they would go to Kingston, and I used to take it to Kingston as well. So we take the train, it was much more efficient. River Road could be blocked, we didn't have a problem. And so it was and it also carried a lot of cargo. And they had the car.
So things moved.
Yes, and things
which
moved.
Which is I think is what Papa Nana is saying.
Yes, he's right, man, because you didn't have to worry about the blockage of roads. Because if things drop across the tree line, they can clear those. And it's, you know, it's not. So it was very efficient, very unsafe. Yes, whole heap of coach.
Yeah. No, Papa Nana, I support that 100%.
Let me tell both of you people. You know, so you have some people here who are worse than Melissa. Them high the price that kill them, oh God. One pound of yam.
Yeah.
The price
them a high
gouging.
copy price them.
But the government no come out against it and say must report
Yeah, but
them.
they're still doing it, you know, Prof. They're still doing it, 'cause especially the produce, the lettuce, the cabbage, the hype, man.
Some things are going to go on holiday.
Listen, they have some planting down up to me side there. And there is no part of me where little like somebody planting $300, a lot of mercy.
Wow.
It is a disgrace. Me tell you, man, when we good, we good, and when we bad, we bad.
That's true, you know. We're very balanced with it. We're good, and then we're bad. Yeah,
Yes,
so a lot of people going being very bad right now. It's true. It's true.
Because me never get to kill out my chicken them doing this thing because I never have no life. And a man tell me, say me a madman to sell it for $400. When you go do it when people poor?
Yeah.
We can't do it.
Oh, so you kept your chickens them and they were safe through the storm, so you could have killed after this.
No, what was that? I last couple, but me not complain of that, child. But you don't know what I'm doing now, bro. Show me have to take so long to kill them out and thing because when me do my chicken, you know, me I'll watch them out first and I kill them 6 weeks or 7, you know. Because me have to eat it too, but them turn man suffer.
Them big now, them about how much weeks them gone? Because them past the 6-7 weeks, them get big, you know.
Thank you, and me have some here now 9 and 10 pounds and them thing, and one man cannot buy one. So that is the problem. You know, so when we have to go do now, he decides so we have to go cut one into to help out the poor people, but we cannot raise it.
Yeah.
I don't know, so not the policy now because they spend a whole lot of money by extra feeding. And them raise the feeding from $3,000 a bag to $3,400.
Everything gone up, you know.
Everything,
the Melissa inflation is a special type of inflation, you know.
But good on you though, Papa Nana, for not increasing the price.
We respect for that. Respect.
I'm not doing it at all. I'm not doing it at all. And God bless and have a good weekend. And with the Christmas thing here now, they should not put it up. Bring cheers to other people.
Agreed.
Thank you. Agreed, Papa Nana. Respect. Thank
All
you.
right,
Have a
Papa
good
Nana.
weekend. Yes, thank you. Yeah, man.
Bugs, you can line up Dirty Tough by Miss Lou for me. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think we.
What if you Dirty Tough by Miss?
Yeah, I like that poem.
That's a nice poem. But listen to me, I'm not canceling my Christmas. I
No,
will
I
share
agree.
and I will
I agree
give
that
and I
we-
will
that
treat. You can put on trees,
this
but
part of the-
all my little red dress and everything. And this Christmas is a red Christmas. I will brighten up the place
Yeah.
because there's a lot of sadness and people want upliftment and cheering up.
Yeah, I don't think it will benefit anybody for the whole country to be in doom and gloom and things go boom.
Clyde Mackenzie says sackcloth and ashes. So we're in solidarity with sending encouragement and help for others, but no,
Yeah.
keeping ourselves alive.
All right, we're going to leave you with Miss Lou, Dirty Tough. I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Professor Donna Hope.
Thank you to the team here, the producer, the technical operator, the members of the newsroom. Thank you all so
and our
much.
guests and our
Absolutely.
YouTubers.
Yeah?
Have a good
See you again on Monday.
The ground is hard. We chose this poem because it is very relevant to the times now, though these verses were written many years ago. But Dirty Tough means not just that the ground is hard, but the times are hard. So it's rain or fall, but dirty tough. The rain is falling, but the ground is hard. And dirty is not just a corruption of the word dirty. It's a real African word, D-O-T, dirty, which means the ground, dirty tough. Sun a shine, but things not bright. Do a pot a boil, bickle not enough. River flood and rain a fall. Rain a fall, but dirty tough. Nowadays the times so hard, when you ask Maddie how them do, them afraid you take it, tell them back so them not answer you. No care how much we da work for hard times, still in our shot. We da fight, our time a beat we. They might raise we wages, but £1 gone and pound we pay and we no feel no merriment. For £10 gone and pound we food and £10 pound we rent. Saltfish gone up, mackerel gone up, beef and pork gone up same way. And when rice and butter ready, them just go up a holiday. Cloth, boot, pin and needle gone up. Ice bread taxes, water rate, kerosene, oil, gasoline gone up. And the pound devaluate. The price of bread gone up so high that we have to agree to cut we hype and bread and all.
Not a mercy. This one is very classic, dedicated to all the schoolers who are taking.
If you've ever